And welcome in, Gyms and Gymettes, to another exciting edition of No Substitute for Sports. I'm your host, Nick Johnston. This is episode 35. And yes, we were expecting some headlines from the first week of football, but we didn't expect to get this much. Did we? I don't know. Dun, dun,
There's a
dun, dun,
lot.
dun, 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 dun. Yes. God, I mean, it's like I said, full disclosure, full spoiler alerts. It's just football, a little bit of wrestling. It's been a little bit of wrestling sprinkled at the end, but it's all football, baby. Thank you as always for tuning into the No Substitute for Sports podcast on the Degenerates Network YouTube page. If you're just stumbling upon us, hit that subscribe button, but only after you hit the like button. Maybe share us around, tell your friends, I don't know, you can tell your local referee at the YMCA or something like that. You can we slip them a 20 when you got your nephew's ball game going or something like that. But hey, talk about the No Substitute for Sports podcast. And there you go. And then maybe get some flags going on the other team's side. I didn't tell you that, but you heard it here first. You can follow us always on Twitter or X, whatever you feel like calling it, at Degenerates, making it nice and easy with 3 A's. And every Friday, 1 p.m. Central, I go live on twitch.tv/SportsTownShy for No Substitute for Sports Live, cleaning up anything we don't get to there and breaking down any breaking news that is also there. And also, check us out Monday, Bad Karma Wrestling. I think we're streaming on YouTube. I'll have to check. I'll have to confirm that, but it's on the rise. Bad Karma Wrestling with me and one of my instructors, Double D Dykstra, chilling over there, talking wrestling exclusively, breaking down anything and everything again over there, but on the wrestling side. Well, like I said, we sprinkle in wrestling over here, so everything and everything. Thank you as always. Again, plenty to talk about. As that's a long extended intro. Didn't want to, but that's how we're doing. Plenty to talk about today. Our Des Nuts fantasy recap and preview for this week and last. Packers and Bears. We're deep diving, of course. I'm sad. Mike is happy. Oh, I feel like that's going to be the theme of this year. And all major games and headlines from week 1. Quick thoughts on Madden 24. Finally, a light week on the wrestling side of things, but the Dudleys signed a Legends contract in the WWE and some news from Hacksaw Jim Duggan. So I think that's going to be pretty interesting to find out. All that, tons more in between. But before we get underway, let me introduce to you my friend and co-host, the founder and CEO of FatCat_Streams. And God, not a fan of it right now, but you got to enjoy a big win. Mikey J. Fatcat, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I'm on top of the world right now, baby. After that big win Sunday, poof. Well, I can't wait to talk about it.
Oh, absolutely. We'll get into that. I mean, not a big fan of it, but yeah, that was basically it. I can only hope that it gets better, but it won't. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I got some quick ones, some quick little apps. I know, of course. How can you get to the apps when it's just football? But that's just how we're doing it. I think it was Saturday. Trying to do something really quick. I was hitting up the local ATM to get some cash. I was heading. That's what I was doing. I heading out to the Toy Con. Had to do a project / do a little shopping at the Toy Convention. But right before I went to there, like I said, I had to stop at the bank, get some money. Like I said, buying the toys. That's what we got to do. Make a nice, easy transaction. How you doing? Busy as always. It's a Saturday. The ATM's on the outside. One only working drive through, so had to go inside. Everybody else followed suit. Got a little janky. One person in front of me was barely able to get their cash out. Person in front of me, same deal. She even said, man, I hope this didn't mess up. She's like, oh, thank God, and let out that exhausted sigh. Here comes me up to bat. Put my card in. Gling, gling, gling. Take it out. I'm like, okay, for sure. I took it out. Gling, gling. Take your card out. Motherfucker, it's in my hand. Gling, gling. Take your card out. Bing, it's all done. Sorry. ATM needs maintenance, this, that, and the other. Did not tell you. It was a little bit of a long line after me. obviously didn't mean to do that, didn't mean to break an ATM, didn't know how to, wouldn't want to inconvenience myself. Just told you I got somewhere to be. I'm sure people behind me also have somewhere to be. But out comes this comment from this woman. I'm just gonna be up. I'll be straight up. It was from this lady. Well, you broke it. And I just turned around and I said, I sure did. I broke it. What I hope I would have loved to follow it up with more, obviously, but maybe just a continuing version of yes, I did break it. And I meant to. I meant to inconvenience not only my day, your day, and everybody else stuck in this line as well. So I hope if you're someone up on this, I hope you had a bad Saturday night. You were also able to get your money. I saw you. You were ahead of me in that line. So not trying to be a creep or anything, but that's just it is what it is. You went about your day, but I hope whatever you went to, maybe you went to a nice restaurant or you meant just maybe having a nice date out with your boy. I hope if you went to the restaurant, hope you spilled on your shirt, and if you went out to a movie with your lover, I hope you were late. That's the only thing I could hope for. I hope you had a really inconvenient night that Saturday because you just had to have such a tantrum. God forbid you didn't get your money on time. Sorry, just had to vent that one out on that one. That was unbelievable. Just the idea, like I said, that I would have. Yes, I broke it. I did it on purpose. You heard it here first. I did it. Yes. Oh, God, it feels good. No, didn't mean to fucking do that, idiot.
That's hilarious. That's
I
my
just,
first time hearing that.
I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe that person's reaction. Well, you broke it. Yeah, I broke it. I took. Oh, God. Just the amount of things.
How do you break an ATM?
Just running through my head. Like, yeah, I put my card in like everybody else would have and what took it out. Oh man, just the ifs and the buts, and I was just like, oh man, I just I
Yeah,
can't, I can't go crazy on this lady. That's like I said, the only thing I said, and I kept it cool, was yeah, I broke it. Sorry. I didn't even say sorry. I said, yep, I broke it, and I walked out. I opened the door for the person that was behind me. Everyone else was like, didn't believe me. They kind of stayed inside. So I got in my car and I got into the drive-through.
There you go.
That was that. It was the rest of the day was fine. Like I said, I just to that person ahead of me, had to throw in that comment. You broke it. Yeah, I hope you had an awful Saturday night. That's all I could say.
Yeah, some people are just too damn disrespectful.
Keep it to yourself, one.
Yeah.
And like I said, really, you think I tried to do that? You really think I tried to? What? Whatever. It's fine. I just I've been sitting on that and just laughing. Like, you know what? I hope she had an awful night. Oh,
just
there you
fuck
go.
her. Fuck that. If you have nothing good to say, don't say anything.
I mean, yeah, I just was laughing. I like also in that same position. I'm like, oh, that person ahead of me wasn't feeling too good. I'm like, it's gonna be me. Of course, I'm gonna be the one where it either doesn't work or something malfunctions. Sure enough, it was me. And yeah, just like
It
I said,
happens to the best of us.
yeah, no, yeah. I mean, like I said, I wish I would have known, but that's fine. I had to get the money, and I still got it. So it's like I said, just so funny. Last a quick little lap. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed my ATM story.
Yeah, that was. I didn't. Again, you never mentioned that before. That was hilarious.
I was sitting on it. I know. I was like, I that was on Saturday. We sat all Sunday, and I didn't mention it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
I want to wait for your raw reaction on today.
I like it.
Unfortunate, bad pivot, but I wrote it down. Maybe it was a week or so ago, but not too good on the timing. R.I.P. to the lead singer of Smash Mouth, Steve Harwell. Believe is not entirely sure. I know he's a big alcoholic, so maybe something tied in with that. Not here to worry about that, but that's upsetting, of course. And another one of your not a big fan. Of course, Smash Mouth has a hit, has two hits, has a couple hits. You know, it's still like one of the humongous plays of the time. So Smash Mouth lead singer Steve Harwell.
Oh, that song still
R.I.P.
gets played. So
of course,
iconic.
Oh yeah, we'll walk around Targets or Walmarts and they're still blasting them. I mean, every time, like I said, It's a must play when Shrek comes on like Cartoon Network in the middle of the day, sometimes on like the weekend, just blasted right away the intro. Somebody wants, and so it's a must play. It'll go down in history. It's iconic. And even a pivot on that somewhat. They're coming out with Shrek Crocs. Did you see these Shrek Crocs that they're coming out with? All green. They got the ears and the nose on the front of it, and boy, it just looks like it's from the swamp. So I'm sure Alan will hop on those, being a big Croc guy and being from the swamp. He's got
Yeah,
two
those
things
are
going
right
for
down
him
his
there.
alley.
Right down his creek, right down his little swampy path. He'll be snagging those bad boys. Now you like even the brown part, like I said, the sport mode, all 4-wheel drive mode. That's all brown. The rest of it is all green. You could probably take a gander at it later, or I might
Yeah,
just
I'm
throw it.
seeing
I
if I
maybe
can find it. Oh, I see him.
Yeah, I can maybe throw in a picture later in editing. Bing. I'll try and remember that.
I've
There's
got them.
that.
Hang on.
There you
Quick
go.
for everybody. I've got them right here.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Perfect.
Check. Wow.
They look. I mean, I was halfway. I don't have a pair of Crocs. I don't think I'll fall into that
Oh
group
my.
ever. But it's halfway enticing. But I mean that's
Are they?
it's a conversation starter at the very least. Like, boy, what in the hell are you wearing? What are those? Like, truly, what are those?
That
So
is, yeah.
maybe bring that fad back. What are those? Yeah, what are those? Like,
That would
holy
warrant
cannoli.
that statement for sure. That would like, what the hell are you wearing right now?
Well, I'm sure between that, my dogs would go crazy and want to chew them the fuck apart.
Oh, that fur would get ripped off.
Between that, the
The
nose,
ears,
the
the
ears stand
nose.
no chance.
And once you lose one ear, then it's cooked.
Oh yeah,
It won't look.
do you get insurance on these? Do you get replacement ears and
Yeah, I wonder if
noses?
they come with replacement
Ears.
parts.
Yeah.
They're valid questions.
Yes. We need more. We need more information. Explain. We need more.
Alan will
Well,
probably let us know
yeah.
everything about them.
Sure, yeah. Sure enough. Short apps today. We're getting into the big ones. We're getting into the nitty-gritty. Our Des Nuts fantasy football recap. Like I said, these are always timed out, so skip ahead if you're interested. We're talking some fantasy here for sure, and mostly focused on our league, our Des Nuts fantasy football league. We'll hit the recap, we'll hit the winners of last week, and we'll hit the preview of this next week, basically. So how do you want to start this off? You want me to go first with my matchup with Pete, or did you want to go with yours against Dom?
Um, uh, I could start it if you want. I don't.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, all right. I was playing against Dom. We went over the lineups last week. So I don't really think I need to go over everyone again that we started, but
No, just maybe
it's
you can just
just,
hit like key players on both
yeah.
sides. That's basically what I was gonna do.
Aaron Jones and Patrick Mahomes, cook for Dom. Mahomes had a pretty bad game Thursday night, but he still gets 22 fantasy points, which just shows how good of a quarterback he is. Aaron Jones absolutely cooked up the Bears.
Yep.
And then he had, Justin Jefferson had a great game, but Vikings still lose. And Mike Evans did decent for Dom, so he had some decent players. He had the Bears defense in over the 49ers for some reason, so that gave me some bit of a saving grace. The Bears had 0, 49ers had 15. I was down about 54 going into last Monday night's game. I had Austin Eckler playing on Sunday. He had 27. Cooked for me. Metcalf got a touchdown. And the Eagles kicker got me 17 points. But
Yes, he
honestly,
did. Yeah, holy cow. He went crazy.
other than that, honestly, like Kittle, Williams, Pierce, Harris, they all did pretty shitty.
He had
So
he had two big field goals from 50 plus. So that gave you 10 right there.
it gave
And
me somewhat of a chance. So I have Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and the Bills defense. I was down by 54. I had some hope. In the first half, it was looking good. The projections had me higher than Dom's points. It was saying I was going to win. I mean, Josh Allen had thrown a touchdown to Diggs. The defense was looking good. They were playing against Zach Wilson now. And the second half just started to get horrible for him. He threw two more interceptions and then the fumble. And he lost so many points from that. I mean, he only had 6 points at the end, Josh Allen at the end of it. And four turnovers will do that to you. So
Yeah.
fucking
I hate to stop you right there, and I think we might get into it later, but just while it's on my mind, like, do you think he's not getting enough? Just not just being not take away your being a fantasy owner for a second. Do you think he's not getting enough like flack for doing so poorly last night? Like, if it was just about anybody else, wouldn't they
I
be getting
was
a tongue
listening to it
lashing?
on Good Morning Football today. They were talking about this, and it's like we all talk shit about Dak every time. It's like, oh, sucks. He threw an
That was a
interception.
name that
It's
was thrown
horrible.
out there for sure. I mean, obviously
They
the
said
tables were
Josh Allen
turned.
led the league in turnovers last year,
Oh,
and
that's true.
no one talks about that.
Yeah, that's
It's like
crazy.
everyone just lets it go because he does make these big, like he made some crazy plays yesterday, and you're like, holy shit, how did he do that?
Yeah.
But
I
then
mean, he's got a
he
cannon for an arm.
Yeah, but then he also just whips it 70 yards downfield in a double coverage and it gets picked off. So I don't know
Yeah.
how he does it all the time. And I don't know, he still does it. And I feel like, a QB at his caliber should figure something out at that point. You just have to chill out sometimes, man. I was saying it watching the game yesterday. Like, you don't always need to just whip it down the field because you want to throw it to force it to Stephon Diggs or something, or
Yeah.
force a deep touchdown. You have to just go with what works sometimes. Go back to basics and just that game. They should have not lost that game.
I
They
don't think
should
so,
not have.
no. I mean, they lost it on a punt return. That's a really tough way to go. And of course, we'll get to that. That was a nice little story for that Hard Knocks guy. But yeah, they I think had all the way to should have probably won that game last night. But that Jets defense is just so fucking baller. And I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Sebastian,
definitely props to the defense.
yeah,
Yeah,
Sebastian played them. They got 22 points for the defense, but that wasn't the biggest defense. That's Allen's with 42 from the Cowboys defense. That was bonkos. And I mean, again,
Dang.
sorry, still focusing on your game. Didn't want to get to
Yeah.
all these tangents. Josh Allen and the rest of your squad against Dom. Sorry.
So yeah, Josh Allen ends up doing pretty bad, which basically once he threw like the third interception, the fourth fumble, I was like, well, I'm not winning this game. Even though Stephon Diggs had 100 yards, 10 catches, and a touchdown, he had
Phenomenal
27
game.
points. Yeah, which is I like to see that. So that's why I draft him early. But I don't like to see when Josh Allen doing so shitty when I pick him as in the third round. I think as my quarterback, it's like I picked him as the second quarterback. It went Mahomes, and then I picked Allen. And then just like when you have a performance like that, it's like, what the fuck? I just think in my head, like I could have waited. I could have got Herbert or something. I could have got someone else. But, Jackson had a shitty game. Burrow had a shitty game. So it's only week one. I know he'll figure it out. They're playing the Raiders next week and he should fucking like cook them up.
I
So
think so. I think it'll be a little bit of a redemption. I haven't looked at the lines just yet, but I'll maybe take the Bills in that one. Just spoiler. I took the Jets last night and the under. That was a good one. That was the play. I took just a little one, just like my usual. But like I said in our group chat, I wish I put my life savings on it. That would have been the move.
it's
Definitely
always
the
a
under.
feeling after a winning bet. I should have
Yeah.
just put everything in.
Yeah. I should have just put my house, my keys. Prime time game unders are gonna hit at like a 70% clip, or probably this year.
Yeah, did
Uh
you see that guy had a some guy had a parlay with over unders
oh, it
and
was all unders basically.
yeah, he had a
Yeah.
$5 parlay to win 17K and he won on that Jets Bills game under.
Oh
So,
yeah.
but
So
yeah,
that
I
was
lose to Dom. I'm 0-1. Dom's 1-0.
yeah.
He's cooked from the Bills. Shitty performance, honestly. And I mean, I had four players that only scored 6 or less points. Like that's not gonna cut it in an 8-man league that we're in.
Yeah.
So hopefully that I could just do better next week. And respect to you, Dom. You cooked my ass, man.
Yeah, I know at least off the top of the dome, he would have got an additional 15 from swapping out defenses. Could have been maybe a
Yeah.
little bit closer from an optimized lineup, but I'm not trying. I'm not going to do the math
But then I
just
always
now.
think about like I could have had Hopkins and Robinson,
Exactly.
and that would have gave
Yeah.
me like 10 more
No.
points that I
Exactly.
didn't
Like
have, and
you swapped around a couple of your running backs and a couple of your flex guys. It would have been pretty close. I think with the optimized lineup, it would have been pretty close. Uh, But yeah, like same thing. My only comments are scary that Justin Jefferson can have 25 and not score a touchdown. That was
yeah,
basically the same thing last year. And again, just your first rounders and second round guys delivered. That's exactly what you want in Eckler and Diggs having 27 and 20, 27 and
definitely.
27. So it's something to look forward to, something to guarantee, something to enjoy the rest of the way. And like I said,
Well,
I wouldn't put put anything too harshly on Josh Allen. He'll turn around, like you said. Good on that game. Final on there was 135, 121. Dom gets a 1-0, and that's exactly what I'll be playing next week. So that'll be cool. That'll be interesting. Interesting. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Get on your game. I can into mine.
yeah.
Awesome. I like I said, I was taking on Stinky Pete.
Oh,
He was throwing in the mind games and everything. He didn't have a lineup in for very much, so he's hit me up as well. I took the dub 137 to 125. Hey, in going into Monday's game, I was down 2.5. I needed just a couple out of Garrett Wilson. He had when I checked in just after halftime, he had 2 catches for 19 yards that did just enough. On that final drive, he finally got involved and had well, as of now, catch of the year already. Garrett Wilson with that touchdown catch. That was pretty awesome. Pretty lazy throw by Zach Wilson, but Garrett Wilson makes up for it. Scary for now. Don't like that I have to rely on Zach Wilson for Garrett Wilson. Of course, we'll get to the Rodgers Achilles tear and the rest of the how the Jets season will pan out the rest of the way. But talking fantasy, McCaffrey goes off for 27, Etienne for 21, St. Brown on earlier on Thursday for 19. Those are my core guys. That's what I wanted. And finally, I feel like I can somewhat rely on Trevor Lawrence in a quarterback this year. I've been dealing with Kyler Murray and just other just scraps, and I've kind of been like spreading out on quarterbacks as of late, but I feel like finally I can rely on Lawrence somewhat, some way. Like I said, I don't know. Hopefully I didn't just ruin that, but either way, that was that on my side. I'm flipping over onto onto Pete. Gave me a scare. Nick Chubb putting up 17. Big day on the ground and a huge upset for the Browns, taking a big win over the Bengals. Yeah, he had 18 attempts, 106 on the ground. Did he get oh yeah, 4 catches and 21 yards. That's nice. Uh Michael Pittman Jr. having a nice little day. Cortland Sutton doing absolutely nothing in the first half, and then having like 4 catches for a couple odd yards and a touchdown. So that was cool. And the Eagles defense having a nice game as well. Uh, I'm sure again could have flip flopped a couple people on each side. I think I might have optimized my lineup. I don't think I could have played anybody else at any other
no, yeah,
point.
you have, yeah,
That was
you couldn't
basically
have
it.
started anyone else.
In my brain, I mean, again, nothing to prove, but yeah, I could have maybe made a better tight end decision, but it is what it is. Not the best performing tight end only had like 9 points this week, 11. Oh, maybe 11 out of Hawkinson. Don't you have Hawkinson? No, you have
No,
Kittle. Somebody else has
Tom
Hawkinson.
has him.
Okay, so there you go. Uh, so yeah, I was just glad again that Jalen Hurts underperformed somewhat, and again, we'll get to that when we talk about the games. Uh, Other than that, yeah, just big win coming off the Super Bowl, the championship, the hangover, and probably an actual hangover from Pete. So glad I was able to get the dub this week.
Without
Good,
Mark Andrews.
yeah, that was big. That was big, and hopefully he's back. That's the news from Monday, and hopefully carried over in today as Tuesday as we're recording that. The quad is feeling good, quote feeling good, I believe is what it says. I think I can actually pull it up right now, but uh that's all I can
He
hope
just
for
needs to
going in.
use those things that massages his leg.
Yeah.
Like, just
Yeah,
use that.
I was close. It's not feeling good. It's quote looks good. Same difference. Same thing. There we go.
It looks
So
good. It feels
look
good.
exactly. Uh That being said, 137, 125. Did you have any comment on our game? Anybody that had stuck out to you?
I mean, McCaffrey cooking up, so I
At
mean, it's good to
65.
see.
That's seeing him run for 65 in a score. It was good to not only enjoy that as a football player, but finally as a fantasy owner. I feel like I haven't owned had McCaffrey in a long time or ever in some sort of way. So this is awesome. This is cool.
And yeah, it's just always cool seeing your top picks doing good. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Monron St. Brown did great, and Etienne cooking it up, and yeah, Garrett Wilson getting a touchdown. So
I'm gonna have to
love to see
everyone
it.
say watch out for Tank Bigsby. I think Etienne's gonna have the job for a little bit longer. That's all I gotta say. But Bigsby, still a cool name. Uh if you're good on that, do you want to talk Sebastian and AJ's game, or did you want to talk about Allen and Ivan's game?
Yeah, let's get Sebastian and AJ because this was,
Yeah, did you want to take the lead on this one?
yeah,
Go for it.
this was an ass whooping.
No. Oh
I'm
yeah,
sorry, AJ,
almost by
but
100.
I mean, yeah, this. I have to just. I think it's how much is that? 90. Yeah, you beat him by 89 points.
Yeah,
So Sebastian had Herbert 22. He had Bijan 20. Keenan Allen 14. Tyreek Hill had 46. He had
yeah,
Dallas Goddard in who had 0 and he had 183 still this week. Calvin Ridley had 24. His kicker had 13, defense 23, and then his other ancillary players had just 9. That's just I didn't even see that his tight end got 0. That's insane.
yep.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill had the game of a lifetime. I mean, 211 and a score, two scores maybe. I'm trying to pull up the 11 receptions, 215 and two touchdowns on the day. And between all our bonuses came out to 46.5 points.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, that's a first round pick right there. That's a good snag right there. And then Bijan, I having a score that definitely helps. The 5 catches for sure. And then, I mean, some say you could kind of start both Bijan and Tyler Algier.
Yeah, Algier
Maybe
out carried him, and
he did.
Bijan still had 20 points.
And the Atlanta won by 2 scores. They just run that ball. They run the ball.
Oh, they know Ritter isn't getting any passes
That's the thing. Just
downfield.
limit him
So
to 18 passes. That's all they want to do. Just not screw up. That is it. That is all they wanted. That is all Atlanta wants to do. Run the ball, make sure Ritter doesn't fuck up, and do what they can. I guess Jesse Bates that was a good acquisition by them. I think that's I'm pretty sure that's where he went.
mm.
How are you feeling on
then
AJ's side?
yeah, so it's Lamar Jackson only had 3, and he did some players did decent. Derrick Henry 13, basically 14. Devontae Adams 12. Devontae Smith 17. And Madison and Godwin 13 and 10. But yeah, it's just some players. Jackson 3, Barkley 9, and Kyle Pitts with 6, and the defense with 2. I mean, he just if there's players that did decent, but there's literally nothing he could have done. He couldn't have switched anyone out, and like this was just Sebastian's team just went off this weekend.
Yeah. It could almost be not substituted, but like Godwin and Mike Evans can almost flip flop a touchdown either which way. So I feel like they'll be integrating Godwin in. I'm sure we'll see that. But yeah, Madison has 13, same deal. He played the good players that he could have. Devonta Smith having 17 was a nice day. Did he have the touchdown on the night or something? Yeah, he had 7, 41 in a score, 47 in a score. So there you go. That was Devonta Smith's night.
So I mean, I'm sure his team will not perform like that often, but that was
No.
just a rough week.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Lamar Jackson going for 3. That's not what you wanted. He must have turned the ball over a couple times, didn't he? Only 169 passing and interception, no scores. That's what
That's
did him in.
insane. They won 25-9 and he only had 3 points.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. And I was sitting there saying that I think I said the week before that he could have MVP type performances, and he should. I mean, he got a lot of people that got paid and just didn't show up really between either getting underperforming stats wise or just straight up getting losses on the actual side of that, not on the fantasy side. Were you good on that one? 183 final to 183 to 94 final on that one.
Yeah, you can hit this last one.
Awesome. We got Allen and Ivan, week 1, the two animals, 127.99 is the final. Allen getting this one, mostly due to Tony Pollard and that Cowboys defense combining for what?
Holy shit.
63.2 points between the two of those guys. Chris Olave adds another 20. That's a nice little, he had a nice little game for him. I guess Deion Jackson did everything he could to not have Allen win, fumbling twice at the goal line, basically. But yeah, it's still enough there. This, again, because the Bengals had a pretty rough game, didn't get the win over the Browns. Ivan did not get the win. Joe Burrow having a bad game. Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase scoring just under 10 points, 10.3 for Mixon, 9.1 for Jamar Chase, and 3.18 for Joe Burrow. And the White Sox get a 6-2 win in the first game. Nice.
Let's go.
Adding on that, Ramondre Stevenson and A.J. Brown both get 14.9. And unfortunately, might as well get to it now. He's right in front of us. J.K. Dobbins out, torn Achilles. Will be out for the year. He still scores 11.7, but comes up hurt. That's a tough go. And I'm just talking about the player itself. Just he's had what 2 season-ending injuries in his 4-year career, going into a fifth, and this is his end of his rookie contract. It's tough. It's really tough. So I can only hope that in some way he comes back in some fashion, like Deontay Foreman, where he might not be the guy, but just a viable option. But this is really unfortunate. I feel like in some way he's somehow athletic enough to come back and be better than that, but he won't be the starter for anybody anytime soon. So a tough go, tough ask. Rooting for him for all for certain. But yeah, J.K. Dobbins going to be out for the rest of the year with a torn Achilles. Any thoughts on that one?
Just rough. Never want to see players get injured. And yeah, he was primed to have a great season coming back from injuries. So it's just unfortunate.
Yeah. And then I could flip over to Allen's side on the same thing. We can get to it now. Allen's his bench quarterback. He had played Justin Fields, but Aaron Rodgers down with a torn Achilles as well on the Monday night game. So David Bakhtiari blaming the turf. Others are somehow blaming the front office for not being prepared for something like this. I don't know how you do that, but I would say right now one of the biggest what ifs of all time, standing as of now, if he does not come back to football. What if Aaron Rodgers actually played for the Jets or something like that? That's a pretty big one.
Yeah. We've been
Yeah.
talking about it for 8 months.
This
Like
has
6
been,
8 months.
yes. I mean, a whole Hard Knocks season devoted to basically this guy and this team. And 3 plays in, he not a completion. He goes 0 for 1 on a throwaway, gets sacked twice, and 1 is a torn Achilles by former Bear Leonard Floyd. So there's that. I don't know, but that's crazy. As just a football fan, at the very least, I wanted to see good football. So I was upset. I didn't want to hear this. I didn't want to see that this was going down. And again, fantasy owner, I feel like a better connection from Garrett Wilson to Aaron Rodgers as opposed to Zach Wilson and Garrett
We
Wilson.
never even got to see it.
Yeah, exactly. I can only hope that, Garrett, I think it'll be better than nothing. I don't know if they can throw in like Jameis Winston or fucking Carson Wentz like people are suggesting. You got to go with Zach. I guess it's not the
He
best
knows the
decision.
system and more than anyone.
Yeah, it's that. And like, if you throw in somebody different now, wouldn't that just shake up all the vibe in the locker room? I feel like Randall Cobb probably wouldn't be like vibing with that. I don't know. It's be something stupid. I don't know. It'd be a pretty big shaker, but this sucks. This sucks. Like I said, as a Bears fan, I mean, of course, and we'll even might as well talk about this now. That Milwaukee, that fucking bar that had the tab. The
Yeah.
Jets lose. We pay your tab. They all cheered. They all cheered when Aaron Rodgers went down. Whether you meant it like that or not for your wallet, you still fucking cheered for this guy getting hurt. You deserve to pay that bill. I hope you ran it up through the roof. My
Yeah.
God. That's disgusting. Like I said, either way, I'm all for disrespecting Rodgers. I'm laughing at the memes. I hit the like button, but I want him to be okay. I want him to eventually maybe come back, and to some degree, just because he's good at football. I like seeing good football. I say that all the time. That's going to be a dying. That'll be the hill that I die on. But it's unfortunate. It sucks. And like I said, that bar deserves to pay all those tabs. I like that one report. The house won tonight. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, that bar got paid.
Oh,
And
they love that promotion. That went
I hope
over
they
great
paid
for
their
them.
bartender. I hope they didn't get all salty and fucking get him like 60 cents or something. You pay your bartender. You did what you did. You be an adult about it. I saw them. If you pay attention in the background, there's a guy in a Sauce Gardner jersey. He takes 2 beers, cranks them together, and
Yeah.
chugs them. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude, let's go. I think like he probably ran it up just in case too. He's like, I don't care. I'm winning either way. I gotta win and I got drunk. Hell yeah. So
Come
shout out to
on.
that guy. I hope he enjoyed his night, not everybody else. Oh, I'm sorry. We're all over the place on this ball game. This was Allen's matchup. That he got the win, 127.99. T. Higgins, 8 targets, no catches, 0 points.
Hmm.
Thoughts? Another Bengals player that's kind of tied into this game. We'll get into that. Yeah, Tony Pollard maybe trying to eat my words, maybe just because they just boat race the Giants. That could be why. But 2 scores, can't take anything away from there. He's might be have a decent year. Maybe not number 1, but still a decent year. You good on week 1? Was there any thoughts, comments, concerns on Allen and Ivan's game?
Yeah, it was very low scoring until Allen went off with those Cowboy players. So
Yes, that was a
Allen was
low
able
one.
to get the win, and Ivan and AJ both score below 100.
Interesting to make note of. Yeah. Let's take a gander, just making sure haven't missed any additions since the last show. I think we won't be able to go over the full waiver wire because again, this is Tuesday. Comes out Wednesday. The waiver wire clears after Wednesday, correct? Right?
I think
Yeah.
it's Wednesday morning,
Oh,
isn't it?
Wednesday
Don't we?
morning.
I think we put them in today, and then they go through on Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. So won't be able to get to the waivers until next week. But yeah, still nobody has spent any fab. I can double check, but I'm pretty sure we're all even Steven at
No,
500.
we'll find out this tomorrow
Yeah,
if
exactly.
anyone does.
Yeah, but since the last show, Pete added Raheem Mostert, did not start him. I had to add Dalton Schultz. I dropped AJ Dillon for him. Ivan added Jason Myers. I thought you had Jason Myers. He was your kicker.
No, I have the Eagles
Oh yeah,
kicker.
okay, yeah, Elliott, obviously. You must have him in another league then.
I do.
Ivan dropped Matt Gay for Jason Myers, and then he also added the Washington Commanders defense because Cooper Kupp was added to the IR. I'm assuming that's probably what the move was. So there's that. Making moves. On to week number 2. If you're ready to preview that, you can rock and roll on that.
Yeah, let's hit it.
Awesome. Let me just make sure that's exactly what we're installed with. Yeah. So I want to go over the matchups, predict the winners, get a standout player possibly from each side, and then I know we're just 1-0, but we can maybe look at the quick standings and stuff, and also just the storylines. I'll take one really quick. Both 1-0 between me and Dom, so it'd be pretty interesting. So one of us could be 2-0, unless we tie, I suppose, after this week. So potential 2-0 after this week. I got Etienne. He's got Mahomes. I got McCaffrey I got Trevor Lawrence. He's got Mahomes. I got McCaffrey and Etienne going as of right now. We'll see what the status is on Aaron Jones and then Cam Akers for Dom. St. Brown and Garrett Wilson as of right now. And I got to go up against Lamb and Justin Jefferson. That's a pretty dynamic duo come wide receiver times. That's pretty disgusting, if I do say so
Yeah.
myself. Mark Andrews, hopefully, fingers crossed. Like I said, if he's looking good, feeling good, that's hopefully he's going to be played. That's just the way that it goes. Hawkinson going on a Thursday night as of now for Dom. Flex spots looking like Debo and Kenneth Walker running it back this week, and then Mike Evans and Christian Kirk for Dom as of now. Rolling with the kickers, Daniel Carlson and Harrison Butker on my side and his side respectively. and then I'm sure he'll flip flop it. But if he wants to roll with the Bears, he can against Tampa Bay. I mean, Bears against Baker Mayfield. There you go. There's that. I think the Bears can have a nice game. Maybe add the 1-0 to the list. But don't take my advice, Tom. Whatever you
Yeah, I
want to do.
mean, they just beat the Vikings, so
Yeah, exactly. Steelers for me as of now going up against the Pittsburgh going up against the Browns in a divisional matchup on Monday night, feeling like that's just gonna be a rock fight. Hopefully TJ Watt just comes in and Deshaun Watson gets an interception, maybe get some defensive scores. That's gonna be rolling with over there. If I'm just hoping for standouts on my side, let me see who is the better matchup possibly. I mean, I wish we were in the dome, but I feel like again, Monroe St. Brown against the Seattle defense, that could be nice. That could be a nice little matchup. That could be a good day for St. Brown. Flipping over on Dom's side, besides of course the potential for Justin Jefferson. But last year, that was his game that he was shut down. So fingers crossed for that. I'm sure Patty Mahomes will have a nice day against the Jags, or potentially. And I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't fall true. I'm gonna have to keep my eye on Mike Evans going up against the Chicago Bears. Hopefully, something similar between like Romeo Dobbs situation doesn't happen against the Bears defense. So,
well, when you compare Mike Evans to Romeo Dobbs, I think it might.
yeah,
Mike
exactly.
Evans is way better than him.
Yeah, on paper, possibly. So, like I said, that's the hope there. I got some, like I said, got some people that can hopefully counter it, get some scores, get some things going. So saw some things. Not only was the kick return rate really low, maybe historically low at like 20% from the new rule that they in place, but just overall touchdowns was low. Just I don't know, slow start. I don't know what it could be. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, like I said, they got paid, they just didn't perform. That was my game right there. We can flip on over to yours. We get some quick preview. You and that's not you. It's you and Allen. 0-1-0 versus 0-1.
Yeah, I'm playing Allen week 2.
It's gonna be
Should be.
interesting sitting across the couch yelling at him.
Yeah, these games are always interesting when we're all there with each other. Uh, we both know it's will be a good game. I've got Josh Allen. He's got Fields. Hopefully Eckler's good to go. He's dealing with an injury right now, so him and Najee. Allen's got Pollard and Jackson, Deion Jackson. I've got Stephon Diggs and DK again. He's got Williams and Olave, and got Kittle on my side. He's got Higbee. And as of right now, I have Hopkins and Williams in, Jamal Williams in my flexes, and Allen has DJ Moore and T. Higgins. I have the Eagles kicker. He has the Falcons kicker, Young Hoku. And I have Bills defense. He has Cowboys, who should have a decent game against Zach Wilson. My big standout is going to be Josh Allen. He did horrible Monday night. I think he's going to bounce back Sunday against the Raiders and get me a decent amount of points. He's
Ooh, a
projected.
morning game in Buffalo. That's gonna be nice for him. I feel like he always cooks on a morning game really early in the season. That's a nice bounce
Hopefully,
back game.
projected 26 points. So hopefully he does have a good game. And for Allen, I would have to say look out for maybe Pollard just because of how explosive he is, and maybe Fields. 'Cause he had such a shitty game last week.
Well,
And he's
Pollard is going up against the Jets. I have to double check it for sure the rushing last night, but I would think that Josh Allen probably led the team in rushing for the Bills. So that's
I
a tough go. Pollard will be getting the
probably
bulk of the work. He'll still have a decent go. But the Jets are a really tough defense. We've seen that. I would only counter it with probably a Chris Olave going up against the Carolina Panthers defense. Chris Olave
yeah.
is probably going to cook, and Derek Carr threw to a lot of people. He threw at a lot of targets, a lot of different ways. But Chris Olave, I think he caught all of his targets. I can double check and make sure, but
Wow.
he was probably the most consistent. Oh, sorry, he had 8 catches on 10 targets, and probably I'm sure the two of them were eight for 112. I'm sure he probably had two that were targets, but were probably just two thrown away or something. Though that's what I would look out for. On your side, I know you said Josh Allen, and I know it's another layup, but if he goes Eckler against Tennessee, I think he's gonna cook. I
Yeah, and
think he's
hopefully
gonna
he's
absolutely cook.
fine.
That would be another good one for sure. And if not, I mean, poised for another solid one. I like again just being a high scoring affair. These two offenses ready to go. Even with Seattle somewhat putting up a duck, I think DK Metcalf can have another solid performance again because Tyler Lockett on my side, I didn't mention it. I think he might go into concussion protocol. There was no question mark by his name, but if he's not fully healthy, fully ready to go, it's going to be just DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith and then Jigba out there. So, uh, yeah, there you go. Any last things on your game right here?
Uh, no, I mean, not really. It should just hopefully, obviously, I hope I win, but good luck to both of us. Good luck.
Exactly. Absolutely. Did we want to talk Sebastian and Stinky, or did we want to do Ivan and Alan next? Or Ivan and AJ, excuse me.
Yeah, you could do. Well, you could pick whichever one you want to do.
All right, I'm looking at Ivan's and AJ's right now, so I might as well finish with do that one. You can take care of Sebastian and Pete.
Sounds
Uh,
good.
yeah, we looking for some bounce back games right here. Both of these young men, 0-1 on the agenda. Quarterbacks looking for bounce backs. For redemption. Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow set to go for these two. Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon on opposing sides. Let me just actually, I don't want to make it too confusing. Let me do AJ's team. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and Saquon Barkley ready to go. Devontae Adams and Devonta Smith also set. Tight end position is Kyle Pitts. Flex spots, running it back with Chris Godwin and Alexander Madison. Justin Tucker ready to go at the kicker position. And the Dolphins defense going to get up against the New England Patriots on Sunday night, ready to go for AJ. On Ivan's side of things, like I said, both QBs on both sides looking for redemption. Joe Burrow is Ivan's quarterback. Joe Mixon also following suit on the Bengals side of things. Ramondre Stevenson going up against Miami, so maybe they can mess up the defense with a Ramondre Stevenson touchdown. And maybe that's the game plan with Ivan. Who knows? AJ Brown going on a Thursday night on that Philadelphia Minnesota game. I think they're running it back. I feel like it was last year they were week 2 matchups or like week 4. They were very early up against each other, Minnesota and Philadelphia. Maybe it's just me thinking that. I'm not entirely
Yeah,
sure.
I don't recall.
Yeah, so it'd be kind of crazy if they ran back week 2 rematches.
Yeah, that'd be a little weird.
Yeah. Uh, Let me see. Jamar Chase and AJ Brown, like I said, Evan Ingram going at the tight end position for Ivan. Amari Cooper, it didn't flip it out, so as of now, he's rolling with J.K. Dobbins at the flex spot with Amari Cooper. Jacoby Myers, is that Jacoby? Yeah, excuse me, Jason Myers, not Jacoby Myers. That's the wide receiver on the Raiders. Jason Myers rolling at the kicker and the Commanders defense for Ivan. Feeling like redemptions from both quarterbacks for sure is ready for that. Watch out. It's not too crazy to say this, but watch out for Saquon against the Arizona Cardinals defense.
Oh
It's definitely
no,
something.
yeah.
Definitely a game that the Giants need after getting their asses handed to them on Sunday night. With that's putting it nicely. On the flip side of things, maybe you get the first. Well, there's still potential. He is very talented. I think Jamar Chase finally has also the breakout game, the first round type game that you would want him to have. So get ready for a Jamar Chase type game, maybe even getting a score. I'd have to run it back and see how he does against the Ravens. Any thoughts on this Ivan against AJ matchup?
Um,
Possibly one the potential to get 1-1, and one of them will go 0-2.
yeah.
Not the best way to start the season.
They both have solid teams, so it's like all of us just had some shit week yet last week. Um, I like Henry on AJ's side. Chargers just gave up a shitload of points to the Dolphins. I'm sure that Henry will be able to cook them up in some way. And then I'm gonna just say Jamar Chase again for Ivan because I mean he was supposed to be the number two. He's the number two pick. People were taking him number one in some leagues, and he only had 9 points. I mean Justin Jefferson didn't even have a touchdown or anything, and he had 25 points. So he has Kirk Cousins throwing him the ball. Joe Burrow's the highest paid quarterback in the league right now, and Jamar Chase got 9 points. So I mean I said I would hope you would hope to see even against this Baltimore team that he can figure it out and starts to get cooking.
Oh yeah, big time. I think that's the game plan. The Bengals will go. The Ivan will go where the Bengals go.
And also, yeah, just very unfortunate for Ivan having Jonathan Taylor and now J.K. Dobbins and just dealing with some stuff over there right now. But
he'll be spending some fab in the
he has
running
some
back
good.
position.
He has some good bench players. James Cook looked pretty good yesterday.
Ivan, you need a running back. Call me. Gotta make some moves. We can make some deals. We can make something happen.
Brandon Ayuk looked great Sunday. Ivan has him.
Oh yeah,
and
33 for Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, and Zay Flowers looked awesome too, and Ivan has him as well. So, and he has Christian Watson, and he didn't even play the first game. So, Ivan's got things to work around with on his team for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think with that you can move on if you wanted to take the lead and talk about Sebastian and Stinky Pete, South African Turtles and the Cocaine Cowboys.
Yeah, we got the two Polish people against each other. I guess I'm just got the two. We got Pete and Sebastian against each other this week. It should be a good one. Sebastian's projected the most points out of all of us, and he just scored the most out of any of us last week. So I guess he's got a decent team. Sebastian's got Herbert, he's got Josh Jacobs and Bijan.
Tyreek Hill is projected 22.
Yeah, he's got Keenan Allen and Tyreek Hill, and yeah, Tyreek Hill is projected 22.
Points.
That's insane. Dallas Goedert, I'm sure he won't get 0 again. And then
my quarterback is projected 22 points.
I mean, yeah, that's projected more points than some quarterbacks starting, I think. Like, yeah, that's more than Fields is projected.
That's more than
Herbert and Lamar are projected. Hill's projected more than Sebastian's quarterback.
Yeah, and Dak Prescott. He's projected more than Tua at 21. I mean, it makes sense. That's crazy. Mr. Irrelevant in our draft, at least, it goes fucking crazy for 460 yards. Again, it goes mostly to Tyreek Hill, but you got to do what you got to do.
I always doubt Tyreek Hill. I'm always like, is he really going to? I mean, he just cooks every time. He's so short.
He's a cheetah.
He cooks everybody.
He's a cheat code and a cheetah. He's literally a human cheetah. I'm a man cheetah. You ever see that with Danny DeVito?
He said, I was feeling like a lion on Sunday because I was feeling like a leader. That's what he was saying.
He went crazy. That was awesome.
And Smash has got Calvin Ridley, Javonte Williams in his flex spots. Great, good players. Tyler Bass, kicker. Jets defense. Good team. Flipping over to Pete's side, the reigning champion of our league. Jalen Hurts, 26-point projection. Been projecting him a lot. Nick Chubb, Jahmyr Gibbs, 5-point projection. I don't know if Pete will keep him in again this week, but we'll see. Michael Pittman, Jalen Waddle. Then he's got Darren Waller in his tight end. Flex spots, James Conner and Jordan Addison, who scored a touchdown last week, even though the Vikings did pretty bad. McPherson, and then Eagles defense. Should be a nice little battle here, and I do say Sebastian has a decent bench player with Breece Hall. Sebastian picked our buddy Allen picked Dalvin Cook, and then Sebastian proceeded to pick Breece Hall. I think we know who the better running back is.
Yeah, Breece Hall having 10 attempts, 127 on the ground, and then his only catch was for 20 yards. I mean, there's some weird stat. I don't know if it's really ties in or shows anything, but the Jets are 6-2 when Breece Hall plays.
Wow.
It just goes to show that I was thinking about this the other day. Not the other day, but earlier today. Zach Wilson, the Jets or Jets fans might want to we can just put him in the background. That's similar to how the Bears of the mid 2000s were. Rex Grossman, like disgusting quarterback play, was was thrown under the rug and pushed aside because the run game was awesome and the defense was phenomenal. So it's a similar thing. I'm not saying Super Bowl caliber
I mean, yeah, that's always
crowning
the
them.
question is that are they going to be able to get over that hump now without a star quarterback?
The
Which,
defense will still win them 3 more games, not guaranteed, but they will keep them in every single game, and they will probably single-handedly win them at least 2 more games for sure. Just not just off the top of the dome. They were going to play another some bad teams, but as long as Zach Wilson just doesn't turn the ball over, they can win games. That's at the very least. Again, possible wild card spot.
yeah, I mean, don't do what Josh Allen did
Yeah, exactly. If
yesterday.
and that's the same thing. The Bills won't perform like that every time. Josh Allen's not going to turn the ball over 4 times. It's it's crazy, but the Jets still have somewhat of a chance. It's still a little bit. I might be naive to see that, but there's still an inkling. I know the AFC's tough, but you can still sneak
No,
in there some way.
no.
Not into the Super Bowl, but into the playoffs.
It's going to
But it's
be
gonna be
tough.
it's gonna be
I think
very
it's going to be
tough.
tough
It's gonna
for
be
them
very tough.
now.
You would need a full turnaround from Zach Wilson, if not a full overhaul, and get someone else in there. I know we'll talk about
I
that.
mean,
We're
he
still on
threw a
that.
horrible interception
Oh yeah.
yesterday,
Oh yeah.
just right to
But if
Matt
somehow,
Milano.
some way, if Rodgers can get on the sideline and still talk him up and coach him, is that not possible to at least boost his confidence enough and still give him at least some sort of help? A little bit better than nothing from last
That's
year?
true. I mean, we saw it in the one preseason game. He said, "Throw it to Malik," and
Yeah. I mean,
so
it's
it's
not
still valuable
crazy.
having a guy like Aaron Rodgers on your bench, regardless if
I think
he's
so.
playing or not. Yeah.
Yes, I have to obviously give him some time, let him able to heal in somewhat some way, but he's going to be itching to get involved in some
Oh
capacity,
yeah.
and that's going to be the way to do it. I think. I'm sorry, we completely sidetracked again, and just
No,
we're
I mean
talking.
I went over both their teams. I'll just
Okay,
say quick thing. Tyreek Hill, obviously, look out for him because he's projected 22 points and 46 last week. So
yeah,
I'll be seeing what he does. And for Pete, I just always try to pick one person, but maybe I'll say no, they're playing the Steelers. I'll say Jalen Hurts because they're playing the Vikings, who I don't know, the defense didn't look the greatest.
yeah,
And against the Eagles, we'll see how they hold up. So
yeah. You can almost take it. You can take a dart, throw it at the board, and pick about anybody on Sebastian's side to have a good game. I'm sure
yeah,
that
that's I
could
mean,
be
it's
it.
scary.
Yeah,
It's scary.
selfishly, I will take Calvin Ridley because Trevor Lawrence is going to be throwing to him. So have another nice little outlet for Trevor Lawrence. Again, call me. Maybe we can maybe work out a deal there, Sebastian guy. Otherwise, on Pete's side of things, for Pete's sake, hey, that could be another team name for you, Pete. Uh, hey, maybe counter it. Tyreek Hill had a good game. Maybe it's time for Jalen Waddle to get involved. Jalen Waddle against the New England Patriots. How about
Hmm.
it? Have yourself a game there. And he waddled away. Maybe you get the waddle action
Oh,
in
like
the
the
end zone.
Madden.
Oh yeah, and mm.
It's a touchdown.
I mean that's just terrible.
That
Absolutely
I laughed
awful.
so hard at that. Just so I mean, we'll take again. We'll talk about Madden, but
I mean that's basically the preview right now of the league.
yeah,
We basically
that's
went
all
through
of
everything.
us.
So you want to just talk about Madden really quick? I mean you had it
Yeah,
on
let's.
the agenda again. That was good luck to everybody. Like as always in our Des Nuts Fantasy Football League,
Good luck.
we'll be recapping week 2 next episode and previewing week 3 as we do. And that's going to be our little formula here. So yeah, on the topic of Madden, and while he was waddling away, the bad graphics, the bad celebrations, we both watched the Angry Joe version. You have a copy. I've basically boycotted Madden for everybody else's reasons that it's just a roster update on it with a different cover every year. What are your first interpretations of Madden? Again, you being the person that's actually been playing it. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's. I mean, there's definitely little minor things that they add, but again, it's things that maybe they've had in previous games that were taken out for some reason, and then they add it back in later to make it seem like it's new, which Angry Joe points out all the time, and he shows facts to prove that it's true. Um, I mean, again, I get it because I'm in this 32 man user league where all 32 of us control a team, and I'm playing people, like every other day where, I'm currently the Vikings. I got cooked my first two games, but it's just this fun little thing we do. So I get it for the sake of that. But if I didn't have that, I don't know if I would get it. I have been playing the Ultimate Team a
That's
lot this year
that's where
just
I'm
because,
at. I'm not in a
yeah.
league like that, so I mean, can I just sit here and play with myself? I'm sure I can. I do it all the time, but not on the franchise version. I don't think it's worth it here. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine. I mean, all in all, all that stuff is the same. The franchise mode and all the gameplay is more or less the same. There's little things like the blocking's maybe a little better in this game, or just like minor things like that. Changes with franchise modes where you can add up to like 6 things in trades now instead of however much it is. We used to be.
Yeah, just 3.
So yeah, just like little things like that. Because I would always be like, "Fuck, if I just add one more thing here, maybe I can get my
Yeah, if I had
players."
one
So
more slot, yeah.
yeah, so there's little things like that that I do genuinely and like that they added. But I mean, is it like a complete rebrand? Like they start from scratch and made this? Like no, they use the same mechanics. There's still broken things in the game. My players, I see it. I've been playing the game for a minute, I'll say, because I've been playing Ultimate Team and doing this league I'm in and shit. So I've definitely seen already like fair share of glitches. There's shit that happens all the time where the players they just freeze in motion after plays. So it
Yep.
will
I
happen
mean,
like
that's been going on for a bunch of Maddens. I still
yeah,
have that. My copy that I have, and it still does that from time to time.
you'll get tackled and then they'll just be laying on the floor with the ball in their hand. I'll see with the
Or
O
my or
lineman.
my favorite when they full on like dive onto the quarterback and the quarterback just slides backwards like he's got butter on his feet or something like that. Because it's all animations. You just get caught in an animation. It's just a
Hmm.
sequence of animations. It's not simulation football as it should be. I don't know what it is. I don't know how they don't have the technology again with the $7 billion that
Yeah,
are constantly flowing.
it's
And
insane.
exactly that. And I'm just glad you don't feed into it. You mentioned you hit the ultimate team, but you don't spend a dime, which
No, I haven't spent any money
I
on it.
doff my cap to you. You could fall into that trap over and over again with the great deals on packs that they have every time and the 4 different currencies that you have in Madden, which is, I mean, bonkers.
I
Uh,
fell into that trap with MLB and with the
$20 for
show.
orange? You bought $20 for orange? That was good. I thought that was absolutely
They
hilarious.
charge so much, yeah. And like I've gotten a good amount of packs just from playing the Ultimate Team. Like
There you
I
go.
always keep up with the challenges and do solo battles and stuff. So I have gotten a decent like I've gotten good
Yeah.
players just from I haven't even opened any packs with money or anything. So
Yeah.
I've just been saving up coins. I have like 400,000 coins right now. It's cool.
That's the way to do it. You hit the player market again. That was always the way to do it, for at least the way I did it. Uh, yeah, like I said, just from watching videos, just from watching you, and just absorbing it again.
It's the same plays. Like there's all that shit's the same. Like there's none of
Yeah,
this different. The gameplay is it's basically the same. All in
yeah,
all, it's the same. It's the same shit. It's the same. The main menu looks the same. There's
yeah.
nothing different. It's just a different player that walks across the screen and points. It's Josh Allen now this year, so he's there. It's just like I just hate that stuff. Like rebrand your main menu. Like make stuff look different. Make it feel fresh. Like change that stuff up. It's like people care about the little things like that sometimes, and they showed like they put no effort into this
Oh
ever,
yeah.
ever.
My
We
thing
were
is
joking
just
about it. We were like, "What do
yeah,
they do at the office?" We were like,
yeah.
what do they do all day? Like nothing's different."
I don't think it's too much to ask for not only for it to look good, for there to be additional things like the pageantry, the actual like feeling that I'm not only playing a video game, but just watching a football game. Like do the sideline changes and the pans to to the cheerleaders doing stuff, and then make a halftime show. You have all, like he's mentioned in that in
He
the
showed, yeah,
video.
they had awesome
You have
halftime
you have
shows.
all the licensing. You have all this stuff. You can ask these broadcasters, and you can make different broadcasters and make it different. Like, oh, it's Monday night prime time. It's a different broadcasting team as opposed to the Sunday night team, as opposed to just the Sunday morning stuff. Make it different. It just proves every year that EA just doesn't care. They don't give a fuck to the extent where they couldn't care at all and just not put out a game, but then everyone loses money. But they just don't care because there's just nothing truly added, nothing new that's added. They add stuff every year, but it's from past Maddens. It's all that stuff. They keep going again, referring to Madden or the ESPN football 05, and they just other like literally Madden 04, 05, 06, where there's 60 plus additions to like franchise mode that they just don't have here. And then, yeah, I mean, you can go in and really nitpick and be like, oh, you can expand it, but you can't truly make a created team. I don't like that, but I wouldn't
I'll
freak out
say,
about it
I
at
want to
that.
say
But
one quick
oh,
thing
sure,
with
no, go
that.
ahead, go
With
ahead.
the franchise mode, me and my buddy Alan, we made our own little franchise. We draft our own team, and we play every now and then. We'll play on the same team and
Yeah,
just see how we do. But we relocated our teams because we want to get a different team. So one thing I did notice is they have so many different custom teams that they made this year. There's so many places you can relocate to, and there's like 20 plus teams that you can choose what you want to rebrand to. Like it would always be like you have to pick these 3 teams for this location.
yeah,
You could pick whatever team you want for whatever location, and they have so many different teams and designs, and so like, you could have a whole league with custom teams, which I was like,
okay,
this is cool. Like I can fast forward 10 years, everyone will have like relocated, and we'll all be like just random football, which it's interesting. I like I like the little things like that I
yeah.
do like that they added.
Where there's potential, exactly, where you could make an effort, put stuff into that and make that better and cool, and not have to completely rely on users to do everything. You can already make that a mode. Instead, put everything into Ultimate Team, pay money, pay extra money. Hey, pay your $20 for a pack that's not going to matter in 4 months and in 4 weeks. Pay another $120 for, it was exactly that, even more packs. It was a whole bundle for bullshit that you're not going to need
Yeah,
in
they're
about 2
releasing new
months.
packs like every week. So the pack, it's like it becomes ancillary the next week. It's like, oh, well, here's something new. It's like, here's a Legends pack, then here's headliners.
Yeah,
It's like there's always just something different.
yeah, and then of course one false move, you put one, if you don't hit the back button, you had A or X on accident, boom, you're an Ultimate Team, whether you like it or not. It sucks, and like I said, I will not be signing up. I will not be buying Madden 24. You do it for the sake of just keeping up and franchising it, but I won't be doing it until it's like $10, $15, or just someone hands it to me. If I find it if I
It's
find it on the
understandable.
street, if someone's just throwing it out, I don't know. Maybe I would be
Yeah.
lucky and someone does like a code, a Madden code. Woo.
Just those free codes.
Yeah, exactly. When they just bust them out over there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get Texas Chainsaw Massacre instead. If you want
yeah.
to buy a game, buy that right now because it's fun and everyone's playing and it's only $30.
There you go. There you go. That's reasonable. Not the $120 to play Madden
Yeah,
or
and they
whatever the
don't
fuck.
fuck you, and then there's not a bunch of microtransactions in the game like, oh, buy this for
Yeah.
like
And then shocker, of course, it didn't work for like the first 12, 24 hours.
oh
Those
yeah, that pissed me off so much. I was so
Yeah.
excited and it didn't even work.
And again, everyone's excuse is what? What do you expect? Everyone gets on. I expect it to work. I
Yeah, I
expect
hate
my
that.
money when I pay for something. I expect the service or the product I paid for to work the day of launch.
Like, what do they
That's again,
expect? They should know that a bunch of people are gonna be fucking playing when it
yeah.
releases.
It's bonkos. Like, just for people to just have that mindset, be like, well, why is it? It's not supposed to work. It's the first day of it being released. Why would it work? What?
It's
Do
so
you not hear
stupid.
yourself when you speak? Like, that's the thought
It's like
process.
people waiting midnight releases at GameStop. If they waited,
Yeah.
they went home, put the game in their Xbox, and then it just didn't work for like
Yeah.
it's
It is truly that abusive relationship that people have with EA and Madden in general. It's just wow. Like you're just willing to accept it to not where you're like, yeah, that's you're the crazy one for thinking that it would work.
it
Oh,
definitely happens with more so like bigger games with EA like this. Like like if like God of War, like won't crash on the first day because it's a single player game,
yeah.
there's no it's these multiplayer games that definitely have issues with this. But yeah, I always have the same thought. Like, how are they not prepared for this? Even
Yeah.
when you get the early pre-orders and like I got the early one. I was playing early and it didn't work. I was like, what why am I paying to get this early? It's not even fucking working. So stupid.
It's a headache. It's a headache for sure. One last thing in fantasy. I'd be remiss if I had to. I promised our buddy Troy to throw it in there. Troy, he's going up against Allen this week in fantasy.
Mm.
He's going to be looking to bring the hammer down for sure. And also, we don't have any MLB, like I said, but all football here. Bryce Harper, shout out to Bryce Harper hitting his 300th home run.
Wow.
He could be on pace if he plays out his contract and gets at least 20 25 odd home runs or a year. He can get up to 500. I think that's that, and then that sets up the potential for potential Hall of Fame talk. So that's the game plan. I think that's definitely viable for Bryce Harper if he stays healthy. Very big season, very very
Oh
good.
yeah.
So there you go, Troy. Told you I'd get to it. There you go, my friend. Let's see. Like I said, I had a good transition because we were talking about disappointments with the game, but another disappointment on my end for sure. Fulfillment on your end. We're talking the schedule or the week 1 NFL in general, not all the matchups, just the big ones that we want to get to, but for sure deep diving in Bears Packers from both of our perspectives on both points, on both teams, and then like I said, we'll get to the other matchups. Uh, can I go first? Or would you like to
Yeah.
go first? Okay. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
go
can go
first.
first.
I'm gonna go first. It might take a minute. So like I said, I just wanted to make sure this was okay. Boy, where to begin? I've been sitting on this for what, 2 days now, basically 3 with all of Sunday. That sucked. That was awful. That was terrible. What Jordan Love did to the Bears was like the 11th, 12th worst thing that happened that day. The Bears lied to us. The Bears deceived us. The Bears fucking tricked us. Tricked me. I got lied to. I'm pissed because I got tricked. Full disclosure. Bears suck. Everything about it. Terrible. Can't get it going. Fields, while I won't say this loss is entirely on him, it shows to me that there was little to no progress in him advancing as a quarterback. The offensive line was, for this is actually complimenting it, non-existent. There might as well have been nobody there.
I mean, yeah, they're ranked the worst in the league right now after
Yeah.
week 1.
The only shining light, if there is one, Roschon Johnson, somewhat. The running game was okay. But Claypool, fuck off. What are you doing? No effort on the blocking. I know there's compilations and they're
Yeah, I was
ragging on
gonna
him.
say I saw clips of him the whole game, just
And I mean, they're
haphazardly trying,
ragging
like
on him,
not
but
trying.
it was there was a character issue. Him being questioned all off season finally comes in, and we're trying to see something. Thought we were promised something, and we were lied to. Completely lied
I
to.
mean, he let our fucking our kick returner blow up a play on him and tackle Mooney or whoever they were doing that screen route. It's like
Yeah,
that's not good. A
just
guy that
entirely.
is that small just getting
And
past him like nothing.
those screenplays, I mean, just to say the offensive, the decisions, the play calling, completely unimaginative. Everyone saw what was being lined up, and everyone in the building, everyone watching at home knew was going to happen. Therefore, the Packers defense knew what was going to happen. And that also might be on me, where I definitely didn't recognize that the Packers defense was going to be as good as they are this year. So that's going to be a big, big, big part for the Packers defense on the Packers side of things.
Fields only threw three. There were 3 passes that were 10+ yards. I
That's
think the
also a
whole
thing.
game.
Why did the Bears trade away the first overall pick if they don't trust Justin Fields to throw down the field? I don't get it. Or why baby him? Let him throw. Again, I get it. Jair Alexander, ready to pick it off probably at any minute. And he got picked and he fumbled. Fields, not his best game. Again, I'm not going to put it entirely on him because he's running for his life out there.
I mean, yeah, the O-line didn't get better.
Said that again last year. I said it while we were watching. Somehow, some way, the Bears looked worse on Sunday than they did last year at any point in time last year. I'm sure maybe just recency bias, but God, they took 2 steps forward and then 3 steps back. 4, 5 maybe. That was terrible. Nothing, again, redeeming maybe was possibly Roschon Johnson, but nothing else.
And yeah,
From top to bottom, defense not inspired. The going for it very early and not being able to get an offensive push, that's the O-line's fault. Nothing, and then that basically signed and sealed it. It was only 10-6 at half, and then they fucking lose 38-20, and that is not at all a representation of what the score was. That was awful. That was terrible. Bears. I'm pissed, and I'll give somewhat of a recognition, and I'm not going to say not. Jordan Love still needs to prove a little bit. I hope you recognize that a little bit.
Yeah,
he had a nice game against a terrible Bears defense, and what was nice is that he just didn't fuck up, and that's what the Packers are going to need. So, he's going to have that time because that offensive line, we were sitting there saying, top half of the league, arguably top 10 offensive line for the Green Bay Packers. Maybe they gave him so much time. He could have watched the full season of Yellowstone back there and then still had an opportunity to throw to Romeo Doubs. It was insane. And that busted play where he fumbles and somehow Musgrave is just wide open, that can't happen. That can't happen on the Bears side of things. That is unbelievable. Whose fault is that? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that was a bust. Like, that was complete flip-flop from it being a play that should have helped the Bears instantly to being
so many opportunities for the momentum to swing, and it just went the Packers' way every single time because lack of talent or just fucking up. The Bears shot themselves in the foot multiple times with penalties, with just not performing every time. Like I said, that had chances to move the ball, false starts on almost back-to-back plays. DJ Moore throwing punches at Jair Alexander for no. I know he's got to protect your quarterback.
Yeah, sorry, that wasn't a late hit, everybody.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. No, that was still. It was not unnecessary, but still a harder hit than what needed to be. Justin Fields was on his way out to the sideline. He could have given him a little push. You didn't need to give him so hard. I'll give him on that side, but still not a fucking brawl worthy play at all. I'll give you that. That's what it was. But yeah, DJ Moore, no need for the extracurriculars. And I don't know if they called it on Chase Claypool, but it was definitely from what DJ Moore started. Everything just undisciplined, on all sides of the ball. And I go into this and I'm upset and I'm pissed. If this was against any other team, I'd probably be giving you the same reaction. It just stings that much more because it was against the Packers. That's the real kicker in this, again, because it's like, finally, somewhat of a chance. Again, the whole Aaron Rodgers is out. It's bring in the next guy. Finally, some potential, and just kicked in the fucking dick again for 48 fucking minutes, or excuse me, for an hour.
It's like the same way of how like we've been talking, like people have been talking about Aaron Rodgers and the Jets for so long. Like we've been talking about this Bears since he's been traded. It's like, how is this going to be now? What's it going to be like when they play against each other? And then they gave him the week 1 game, and I mean, yeah, it's just both sides, both fan bases were very optimistic about this game. So
there was intrigue even on the outside looking in again for that same reason. Young talent. They both very much wanted to see. Not going to be very much intrigued going forward, but very much at least this week one was intriguing for some on the outside looking in. And sure enough, more of the same of just the Packers beating up on the Bears. God, I just wanted something. Again, just wanted some sort of win, some sort of like saving grace, and it's just back to just it sucks. It's literally the meme that was going around, the picture that I saw summarized it perfectly. So the Scooby-Doo caught the villain. Who is that under the mask? It's the Bears, and he pulls it off. It's the Chicago White Sox. I'm like, son of a bitch, that's exactly what it is. It's exactly what's going on. You fucking tricked us. That's it. I'm good for now. You got thoughts, comments, concerns on Packer side of the things? Maybe you can just talk positive. At least someone enjoyed football this weekend. I enjoyed fantasy, but a little bit of betting, but just actually enjoyed their team winning. Please take it over. God, I need water.
Yeah, I'll say I lost in fantasy, got cooked on my bets, got cooked in the league I'm in Madden. Was going to an Aerosmith concert Friday, got postponed, but god damn it, the Packers won on Sunday. I don't give a fuck. I cannot. I mean, I'm gonna try to be as respectful as possible, but
No, let it out, man.
I have no one to talk to with my feelings about this. Really,
let this out. Let
but
talk because people talk. You got people in our friend group. You can list them out. You can keep them anonymous. Let them know like this was it. This is the time to do it, and you're gonna have another opportunity at week 18 when the rematch is. But this is the time. So let it all out. I know it's not directed at me, so feel free.
Yeah, I'll say this was the best win in a while. I haven't felt this good in a while. I don't think if this felt better than any win that we got last season. It's so nice seeing a new quarterback. Because I've known Aaron Rodgers my whole life, so it's just so nice. On my side, of course, seeing a new quarterback come in. I was so upset when they drafted him because I was a big Aaron Rodgers guy, but he's been behind him for years. It looks like he's learned some stuff from him. He looked good in preseason. I didn't want to hype him up too much because it's the preseason, but he threw a touchdown in every drive he was in. Jordan Love, it was week one. I don't want to hype it up. I know he still got shit to prove, but Jordan Love looked good out there. He looked poised. He looked relaxed, and then you can do that again when you got an O-line like the Packers do. You got two arguably best O-linemen in the league with David Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins, and both on the left and the right ends. And they've got good guys filling up the line in general. So he had a lot of time back there, was able to find a lot of different guys, Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, his tight ends, Aaron Jones a lot. I mean, he was the big key piece of this game.
He goes down. How are you feeling on that? If he's out for some time,
that will be rough because he was a very big piece of the offense on at least week one. But hopefully we can get Christian Watson back. And
I think you'll get him week 2.
And AJ Dillon, he's definitely not as explosive as Aaron Jones, but hopefully he can carry the load if he's not there. But Jordan Love, 245 yards, 3 touchdowns, second career start to 3 touchdown games. I think Justin Fields has had 25 career starts. I was reading he's had 1 3 touchdown passing game. So Jordan Love just did it in his second start. I know there's always shit. Well, you played against the worst defense in the league, blah, 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 blah. I know the Bears defense definitely looked bad, but I still am going to give him props. He looked great. It's a very big game to be in an enemy stadium like Soldier Field where I'm sure it was fucking loud in there.
Probably just short of whipping batteries at him, I'm sure.
But to go in there and have the game like he did, that was, as a Packer fan, very, very nice to see. Quay Walker with the pick 6, a great play. Luke Van Ness with his sack on Justin Fields, catching up to him when he was trying to cut the edge. There's just so many things I love to see with that Packer team Sunday. And I was very optimistic. I had the Bears winning this game, and I said that in the podcast before. The Bears spent $90 million this offseason. Didn't really show it on the field. Um, Packers just
A
came
lot of
out.
key pieces missing. Yeah.
They looked like they just wanted it more than the Bears did. And again, and Jordan Love looked great. Everyone clicked. O-line good. Wide receivers were doing decent. Or Aaron Jones is him. And the defense, I mean, we got Rashawn Gary back. He played 10 snaps and he had 6 QB pressures, I think it was, which is fucking insane. He has the most out of anyone in the league right now. He played 10 snaps. He's just coming back. He's an absolute monster. Devontae Wyatt, we just drafted, had a sack yesterday. You got him and Kenny Clark and Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith coming at your O-line. It's going to be a long day. You got Devondre Campbell in the middle, and they've got decent corners. Jair Alexander's very good, and Rasul Douglas picked him up off the Cardinals practice squad last year. He's been very good, and Eric Stokes. And I mean, the defense, I knew that they were going to be solid, but they looked very good on Sunday, just as the offense did. So
They came ready to play.
I don't want to keep talking about them, but I'm very excited. They play the Falcons next week. I'm on the boat now where we're gonna beat the Falcons. I'm completely invested in this team as I've been, but I'm just even more excited now. It was a great game.
Oh, rightfully so. Great. Rightfully so. It makes sense when that stuff happens. I mean, I'm still somewhat in that boat of like, yes, the Bears suck, and that's how they're gonna look good. Anyone's gonna look good against the Bears, but still. It's a professional team. At the end of the day, these are professionals going up against each other. So you can't take away that. It's a lazy argument to say something like that.
But you're right. He still has stuff to prove.
Yes,
he had a good game.
He had a nice game. That's what you want. You still can the consistency? You need that. You need that to carry on.
Yeah, it's always what we say. Can you do it again?
That defense is going to keep them involved. I'll keep this one last thing on there because we're going to try and get to the rest of the games. Maybe something to pay attention to just throughout the league. Shows what happens when someone is developing and behind a quarterback that knows something for a couple odd years, 3-4 odd years. And then you get a quarterback that's just thrown into a shit show right away, asked to produce and not given really anything to help them with there. And this is what happens. This is what happens on both sides. So, I mean, it's not just on the Bears. There's been other franchises that have done it before, throwing quarterbacks, brand new rookie quarterbacks. And I know obviously Fields isn't a rookie, but at this point, not developing because he was thrown into the shitstorm and just not given anything. It
all starts with the O-line.
Absolutely,
I feel like the Bears have never really improved their O-line since Fields has been on the team.
If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a merry fucking Christmas, Mike. But I say it if Justin Fields had the O-line, or if Justin Fields was on the pack. Oh God, if he was on the Packers.
And we talked about it on Sunday. If Fields was on the Packers, if he had their O-line, he would probably do way better.
San Fran's O-line, if he had something, he would be that much better. The potential is still there for him to be upwards of. I don't want to say Patrick Mahomes because that's people are be like, you're fucking crazy, but the potential is there to be superstar level, but it's just not developing, and it's just at a complete plateau for Justin Fields. And now I'm at that point where I was still there where he needs to develop. I see now currently no development. So get better or you're done. This is the year. We're more. Well, I guess we'll have 2 first rounders in the top 5, probably in the top 3. Not looking forward to that if that's going to be the case. So I just will keep praying and hoping that the Panthers continue to lose as well. If that's going to be
the offensive scheme needs to change for the Bears immediately.
Yeah.
And Matt Eberflus said it at the post-game conference. He was saying like, yeah, we need to get Fields. We need to let him pass more. And so like, you're just realizing this now? Like, why are you saying this? And like, yeah, you need to let him do his thing.
You didn't have a whole off season and a preseason to figure that out. You just, you need to get your fucking ass rammed by the Packers to figure that out. awful. I mean,
So
that's just
hopefully they sit down and they need to just design plays that are more
yeah,
fit for Fields and get DJ more involved because like they traded their first round pick, the very first pick in the draft for
yes,
him. So and you only got 2 catches. It's like you need to
yeah,
get him more involved.
yeah. Right now, report cards for the Bears F's across the board. That's all I'll say. If you're good on that, we can get to the rest of the games around the league. Are you
Yeah.
good with that?
Mm-hmm.
Coolio. Uh, yeah,
Wolfpack, baby.
don't need to don't need to stagger on too many of these for too long. Obviously, just hit the big ones. And I got a question for you at the end when we get through all this. Ravens take down the Texans 25-9. Obviously, the big one was Dobbins out. We talked about that early, but also Lamar Jackson not looking too good. Was there anything that you needed to take away, talk about from this game?
I mean the Ravens looked good. I don't know. They did what they went out to do, and hopefully Lamar can just step it up more if he wants to prove that he's a top tier quarterback.
Yeah. CJ Stroud didn't look the worst, but it's a tough ass to go week 1 against a really tough Ravens defense.
Yeah.
Browns take on the Bengals. They get the big upset 24-3
The
at
Elves.
home. Burrow, after getting paid, and he just straight up shits his pants. They don't do don't do a thing. They end up benching him later on. This was crazy. A lot of people were saying Browns +2, +2.5, and just the Browns. I've made mention to it before. Bengals get out to really slow starts. They've shown that basically 3 straight seasons now with Joe Burrow at the helm. But Browns also do seem to have their number. I'll give them the weather, that was a factor too, but this was crazy how underperforming the Bengals were.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, and you saw Jamar Chase's comments about the Browns before and
I
after the game.
Yeah, wasn't it something like it's almost like a guaranteed dub or something? What am I?
Yeah, he was saying, I mean, we're not worried about no elves.
Oh,
And then I guess Myles Garrett took that personally because he said, "You don't call us elves."
oh yeah,
He
that's
said, "I'm
crazy.
taking that personally." And then they cooked them. And then Jamar Chase just reiterated it after the game. He's like, "I can't believe we just lost to some elves. Like, you just got cooked.
Ooh,
You
yeah,
just got
that's
cooked
putting it
up, man."
nicely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, don't say that shit. If you
And
just,
again, him being a first rounder in fantasies, some leagues 1-1. I would have probably taken him 1-1 given the spot. I don't even want to show my cards. I would have been sitting there so pissed off if Justin Jefferson going off the way that it is, and Jamar Chase is just sitting there with in a standard league would have been like 45 point with 4 points off 45
yeah,
yards. But yeah, because we're in PPR, gets 9. It's just like Jesus.
that's true. Wow.
It's like God
I am
damn.
in a league where someone picked him number 1 too. So
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so that's a big upset. We got I'll go more into the Bengals maybe a little bit later. The Bucks, another big upset for some. I was thinking +5.5 too. I would just wish I took it.
really,
Yeah, I wish. Bucks +2, or Bucks take down the Vikings 20-17. Is Baker the man? Do Bucks win that division? What are we thinking? I mean, other than just that the Vikings again are frauds. They are the frauds of the league. They were frauds last year, frauds this year, frauds before that, frauds continuing after
the
that.
old line looked horrible. And I mean, they still got Justin Jefferson his touches, but it just didn't work out
Not
for him.
enough. It is not enough. This team, it doesn't do it. Doesn't I don't think they don't have the it factor. Not enough. I mean, they got Justin Jefferson, but that defense is not there.
No.
You got if the Bucks. I mean, Chris, at what halftime it was like 260 some odd yards for
Yeah.
Kirk to Baker Mayfield's 60, and they were
Something like that.
tied. They were tied at half. Like, come on, like that's crazy. Uh, just the Bucks that just able to make it a game. The Vikings just didn't show enough life. I don't know, but Bucks big upset, and then there you go. Or I'm just at this point, I'm kind of glad that the Lions won because that would have led the Packers to be the only 1-0 team in the division. So glad
Huh.
glad the Lions actually won on Thursday. But
Did you
that's just
see? Well, Baker Mayfield won the angry run scepter
oh,
today
he
for the
did. I
week
did not
one
see that.
of Good Morning Football because of the stiff arm on them during the game, and
Oh, that's
I guess he was
hilarious.
mic'd up and he was yelling at the defender like, "Get your weight up, boy! Get your weight
Oh,
up!"
there you go.
So
Oh
I
man.
love to see that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Saints, Titans, 16-15. I got nothing on this game. Man, it's whatever. I'm
Yeah,
good on that
that's
one.
they really we're red zone guys, and there's certain games that they just don't really show on red zone, and
Well,
this
yeah,
was
because the
one of them.
Titans had 5 field goals. All 15 of the points were 5 field goals. So
Oh my.
yeah, that's right. Ryan Tannehill, ladies and gentlemen. In the other NFC South games, this is actually a matchup in the division. Falcons, Panthers. Falcons just ran the ball, and they ran it, and they ran it, and they ran it, and they took care of the Panthers 24-10. Wasn't too crazy. It basically was just that. So it looks like Bijan Robinson good to go. Tyler Algier pretty good to go. Nothing from Drake London. 0 points,
Yeah.
zero targets. He said he was good. And it doesn't matter. He got the win. So I guess I'll just have to take him at face value on that. Jags and Colts 31-21. This one just showed me that the Jags, beyond Calvin Ridley coming back, having a nice game, that core, everyone had a mouth to feed. Zay Jones scored. Everybody besides Christian Kirk was basically involved. Just a resilient Jags team after that weird play where I guess they ruled it a fumble on Trevor Lawrence. Tank
That
Bigsby,
was so.
Tank Bigsby recovers it, and then they pop it out of Tank Bigsby's hand, and they recover for a touchdown. Weird. I mean, that was just a very,
Everyone was
very odd
standing
play.
around like it was over when
Yeah,
the
exactly.
ball bounced off the ground and it landed in Bigsby's hands, and he was
Yeah.
just looking around, standing there, and fucking Leonard just came and hit it out of his arms, and they
Yeah, it was
just
just
ran it
such a
for a
weird
touchdown.
sequence that they couldn't believe that it happened. They're just sitting there like, was it even a fumble to begin with? And then, like, sure enough, I guess it was. It kind of wasn't. Who
I still
knows?
don't think it was, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
again, I have to look. Either way, it just showed to me that the Jags, even though it was a tough one against the Colts, Anthony Richardson showed that he's going to be. He looks like a similar build to Cam Newton in the way that they're going to rush him. Kind of scary that he gets popped at the end and Gardner Minshew has to come in, but they have something going on there. There's at least something brewing for Indianapolis at the QB side of things. So I guess there's
Pittman
that.
had a good game.
Yes,
So.
he did. He did, in fact, there. So that's going to be a nice little target.
Also, I was mad. Calvin Ridley scored a touchdown. I was just thinking to myself, like, how did I not bet on that? He got suspended for betting this whole season. Like, how did I
That's not
not bet?
yeah.
How do I not bet on him to
Just not
score
take
in
a
the
prop
first
on
week?
him in general. He had such a
Yeah,
huge first half. I think he probably had all his props in the first half.
he had over 100 yards, and
Yeah.
I mean, he was cooking. Yeah, I bet all of
Yes.
his props hit. So
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
just kicking myself. I was like, how did I not think about that? Got
It's the little things
suspended
like
for
that.
betting. It's like just so easy. It's
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Niners and Steelers. This one a bit pretty interesting as well. A lot of people were thinking Steelers +2. The line even shift almost +1. Uh, but 49ers came out and smacked them up. Again, similar to the Jags, where a lot of mouths to feed, and Brock Purdy was able to do that. A lot of dishes to Ayuk. He had a big game fantasy wise, 2 scores. Uh, but Debo was still able to get involved. Christian McCaffrey had the big game on the ground. Kittle, I think, was the only one that didn't really do anything, but it is what it is. I'm sure his time will come as well. But again, just Brock Purdy showing that he's actually proven it. He's proved that he's a bunch of starts now. He's the guy for them. Just I love that the one shot it gets to Tyuk, and then the president that just traded Trey Lance is like, yes, I didn't fuck up. I didn't lose my job. Let's go. I put my cards in the right way. So I mean it's a good trade for everyone, I suppose.
Brock Purdy,
Anything.
Mr. Irrelevant. They
Yeah,
trust him to throw the ball more downfield than the Bears trust Justin Fields, it
that's
looks like.
true. It is very true. That's what happens when you
Brock
suck
Purdy has
ass.
something that's potential to do something very special in this league. He was the very last pick in his draft, and he's been cooking since he's had his opportunities. So I mean,
Absolutely.
he's
No
very
one's
young, and
oh,
his
good.
ceiling is nothing but is up. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he looks great.
No one's bigger than an opportunity. Take that from CJ Mosley. Uh,
I always
Cardinals.
like the documentary Tom Brady was in. I forget what it was, but he was talking about that with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning would do that paid in places or whatever
Yeah,
it was. And yeah, Tom was saying it doesn't matter if you're picked first or you're picked last. If you get a chance to get on that field, don't blow it because you might not ever get one again.
there
So,
you go. Fuck yeah,
and
dude.
he's been doing great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cardinals Commanders 16 or 20-16 victory for the Commanders. Couldn't cover for me, so fuck you. Didn't really have anything on this game. Very boring. Other than the Cardinals somehow, some way having a lead. Didn't really expect that, but again, the Commanders having to pull that one out. Raiders Broncos 17-16 win for the Raiders. Same old Broncos to me. That just showed it. Just again, similar to the Bears, unimaginative offense led to nothing. Just dinks and dunks, and it was just very boring to watch on that side of things.
I mean, you lose to the Raiders. Come on.
Yeah, and again, are the Raiders one? Are they the only team that won in the AFC West
They are.
this week?
I was saying, is it crazy to say they're leading the division right now?
Yes, that is the most insane. I think that's the biggest. That should be the biggest story right now in football. That the Raiders are the number one team in the AFC West. I don't know how long it lasts.
It won't be long.
With the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Chargers all taking L's, and that's exactly what we'll talk about next. The Chargers and the Dolphins, and probably. It's already poised. It's week 1, but it's probably going to be one of the most exciting games on the year already.
Oh, the shootout of the final week.
Yes, exactly. Very exciting. Tyreek Hill had a humongous game, like we mentioned in the fantasy portion of things. Just crazy. It's just so much fun to watch that. I wish I know, of course, we had the Bears Packers on the big TV and the sound for while we were watching at your place, but I wish we were able to flip flop it and actually pay attention to the Chargers and Dolphins at that particular time. Because I wouldn't have probably wouldn't have hurt myself as much as I was so pissed. But yeah, it would have actually been watching a good game in this sense. I know that again, a lot of people are hating on Herbert, opportunities to come up and win the game or at least get a field goal. Couldn't do it on 2 separate occasions. But when you just have Tyreek Hill torch the Chargers defense like they did, just crazy. I mean, fantasy points on all sides of things. Can't say much when a score goes 70 total points. Yeah, that's awesome. Take the highest highs and you take the lowest lows. This
fun for football fans and fantasy fans. You can't go wrong with a high scoring game like that.
Yes, without a doubt. Yeah, would you have any comments on this game?
Oh, I wish Eckler scored more. I don't know why Joshua Kelly was getting end zone touchdowns, but
I think it was because exactly that.
The ankle
his ankle was he was gimping around a little bit. Joshua Kelly was getting. I think he actually matched the same amount of touches, but I think obviously Eckler had the most opportunity and did more with what was given to him. But either way, it's still interesting to note.
Very fun game.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. Very cool game. Let's see. On what was more not close to an upset. It could have been maybe a couple things went the Patriots side of things, but closer than I thought. Eagles 25, Patriots 20. Patriots, did they overperform or did the Eagles underperform in this one? I'm not really sure. I know a little bit of weather in the beginning. It was raining hard as hell. Made Bill Belichick look like a crazy person, but this. I can't
it was this towel around him, and
like, what is that towel gonna do? You're in a tsunami, dude. Like, that's not gonna keep you dry. A little hand towel that I would do to wash dishes. No,
the towel's getting wet. It's getting rained on. The towel's wet.
Yeah, and that's gonna dry. I don't know what the game plan was on that one. Kept it way closer than I thought between this Patriots offense. Like I said. Was it Jalen Hurts just not being as explosive?
I think the Patriots defense is always just a force to be reckoned with.
I think that's a good point
at the helm. So I think that the defense probably maybe overperformed or maybe performed to how they should be. But
there you go.
Just always a tough game against the Patriots, no matter. I don't know. Their offense is not the best anymore without Brady and company, but the defense is always something to deal with for sure.
Yeah, they'll look back at the end of the year again. It seems like these past few years, Bill Belichick has been on the hot seat. I wouldn't pin that loss on Bill Belichick. Nothing really was like, oh, that was a bad decision. So. There's not enough.
You're playing against arguably one of the best teams in the league.
Yes, exactly. Arguably obviously one of the better teams in the NFC, arguably in the entire NFL in general. So, yeah, good point right there for sure. Rams 30, Seahawks 13. I was wrong. This was,
Yeah,
I
fuck the
mean,
Seahawks.
see, yeah, honestly, get similar sense. I was tricked by the Seahawks. What was the graphic? I think they had 1 yard in the second, or no, I think that was the
Oh,
Steelers game. It was 199 yards of offense for San Fran and 1 yard for the Steelers, but
oh my
it felt the
god.
exact same in the Seahawks game where they only got a couple, maybe like 50 yards. Like every time we were looking at red zone, I said this out loud. I'm like, why? How do the Rams still have the fucking ball? The Seahawks just never had the ball this game. It felt, and
They got cooked by Atwell and Pachu or
yep,
whatever the hell the
yep,
guy's name is on the Rams.
yeah,
I
he had like
mean,
15 targets, bonkers. And again, I mean, egg on my face, Stafford throwing the ball and he still has an arm. I don't
yeah,
know.
I'll give it to him.
Ah,
Yeah, I was sleeping on him, but just went out there and proved that he can still perform. So
yeah. And those that led to the primetime games, Cowboys Giants. This was just an
oh,
absolute ass whooping.
yeah, I did not watch
Cowboys
this whole thing.
just they just let them have it. Rainy for sure. I'm surprised. Everyone again saying this, surprised at how long Daniel Jones went in that game. Almost basically the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, he was still out there running away, throwing the ball away, still getting hit, still taking hits. I don't know. I don't know if that was a statement by him or just like, hey, keep it out there. We want something to go right. But yeah, that was not the move. Proves to me that again that I was somewhat, at least I can put my head on something like the Giants. I was right. Giants are gonna be fucking terrible this year. And I mean, divisional game for sure, weather for sure. Cowboys defense is dynamite, but just to
Yeah.
put a goose egg in the first week, yeah, Daniel Jones, you're garbage. Thoughts on this game?
Um, the Cowboys just came out, shut them out, and
Yeah.
I think it was in the Giant Stadium.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's just
when it leads
embarrassing.
off, yeah, when you lead off with a field goal attempt gets blocked and that's returned for a touchdown, is that how it would happen, or was it a punt return?
Um,
A blocked punt for it. Either way, when it starts
I
off
know
like
that he
that,
kicked a field goal later in the game and completely missed.
yeah,
He was so close.
he
Like
sure did. It was a
just
chip
nothing
shot.
was going for them at all that
Yeah,
game.
just the energy was sucked out right from the beginning. Couldn't get it away. And I saw some tweet was brought up to me that some Cowboys fan was like, I want to beat them so bad they're gonna remember September 10th. I'm like, oh my
Oh my
god, that's awful. Yeah, so that's what happened. And then in the other primetime game, if you're good on that one,
I did see a video of a Giants fan taking his jersey off and like throwing it on the ground and leaving the
oh
stadium.
my
So that was
god,
it just
that's
shows, I guess, how
hilarious.
Giants fans some feel. I couldn't buy he like threw it into the crowd and left. I was like, you're just okay. You're
Some
that
fan will go
angry?
home with a free jersey. That's fine with me. Yeah. So there's that other primetime game. At least one at least one New York team was able to get a win at MetLife. Jets get the dub. Kind of already mentioned it earlier, but yeah, Rodgers going down. Big, yeah. Just on the side of things again. I'll just repeat it again if you skipped over the fantasy side. Just for people that want to watch good football, this sucks. So this is a big thing. And again, one of the biggest what ifs now. If Rodgers could have played for the Jets, but still get the win. With this Wilson to Wilson connection, maybe the catch of the year already. Alan Lazard also getting involved as well. But the game winner from our boy from Hard Knocks, Xavier Gibson. Even Yessie got a pop out of that one when it was a punt
Hmm.
return because just so exciting. She don't pay attention to football and whatnot. She's there for just to make me happy. But in that sort of way, when I'm watching the ball game, she's just there to you know absorb it and not yeah exactly she plays her role. But even that doesn't really pay attention. She's like, "Holy cow, that was awesome!" That was like, yeah. I'm like, "Yeah, that was awesome." That never happens. A punt return to end an overtime game from a dude. And again, if you further inputting it from a dude that was undrafted wide receiver, uh, that barely making the team, nevertheless making the Jets squad with some pretty stacked wide receivers and Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, McCole Hardman. You got Randall Cobb there with the experience and everything right there. Throwing that other undrafted wide receiver that they had, and then now him. It's a really good feel good moment for people that kept up with the Hard Knocks. A phenomenal feeling for that, especially when they get the news that as of now, Rodgers is going to be done for the entire year with a torn Achilles. So a good start in the division for the Jets. Going to be a big what if for sure. And then just upsetting because, again, I invested all that time. I took 5 weeks and even reviewed basically every episode of Hard Knocks. And I'm not getting Aaron Rodgers on the fucking Jets. So here you go. Jets 22, Bills 16. We talked about this a little earlier too. Not enough flack on the Bills side of things for not only losing the game, but Josh Allen just maybe not enough hate on his side. Any thoughts, questions, concerns on the Jets versus the Bills game?
Fun Monday night game. I was
Without a doubt.
invested in it. I love the green wristbands they gave to all the fans in the crowd when they would, like, you could see it kind of in the picture back here when they would be flashing the lights at the beginning and at the end of the game.
Like a WWE
Yeah,
yeah,
everyone
cool.
had like a green light or wristband or something, so it was cool to see all of them lighting up in the stands. It was
Cool.
fucking packed in there. Fun game. Josh Allen blew it for them. They lost because of him. I have 3 interceptions, 2 of
That's
them
fair to
being
say.
arm punts and a fumble, which wasn't really his fault. The center snapped it right into his face, and he just tried to do what he could. But just unfortunate. 4 turnovers, that'll do it in a 1-possession game. And you could say, just one of those turnovers, you didn't have one of them that could have won them the game. So yeah, Josh Allen needs to figure it out. And like we were saying, people definitely don't give him as much shit talk as they do as like Dak Prescott or something or Kirk Cousins. It's like if he went and threw a bunch of picks, it would be like, this guy is complete ass. Like he's not good. It just makes sense. But yeah, I mean,
Get him out of the league. Get
no
ready
one's
to
like,
learn
yeah.
Chinese, like shit like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, you are a Gong Zhuang shark
Yeah.
or
Or like
something.
get ready to learn French when you're in the Canadian Football League or something stupid, just something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but then no one has been like Josh Allen sucks after that game. I mean, it's because we know he's going to bounce back, but he just does. He led the league in turnovers. They were saying last year he had
Yeah.
the most interceptions. I think he had the most picks out of any like the other quarterbacks, which is
Yeah.
fucked up because he's supposed to be one of the top tier
And I don't
QBs.
want to speculate on why that is so long, but maybe it's just because he's a nice enough guy and keeps his head down and stuff like that and doesn't get involved in trouble. Maybe he gets the pass like that, but it might be time to like get Josh Allen under the microscope, under some scrutiny. Be like, hey, it's the reason why the Bills haven't gone through the ceiling of getting to the Super Bowl. Not even just getting past the AFC Championship, getting into the Super Bowl. Just it may be because of him. I don't know. There's a possibility where he has the talent and all the mechanics to get there. He's got a cannon of an arm, but does he have just the football mindset, the X's and O's? Can that come into play where Joe Burrow has that, like, not only is that the fuck you mentality, he's got it's untangible. You can't measure this, but I feel like he has the it factor more than like Josh Allen does in some way. Like there's more want out of a guy like Joe Burrow. I don't mean to like compare this just to between the
I
two of them,
don't know
but
if Josh Allen doesn't want it. I mean,
yeah, I know. Again,
just the
it's tough
way
to
that
say
he
that.
runs sometimes. Like he runs
Yeah,
so aggressively. I'm just thinking because I'm in fantasy. I'm like, go out
yeah,
of bounds, man. You don't need to
yeah.
try to jump over this corner and truck this guy. And I mean, like he wants it, but he just makes these dumb decisions. Like
Yeah, I think
he did
yeah,
not
okay.
need to make 2 of those throws that he
No.
threw. He just whipped it down the field and said, fuck it. And it was in double coverage both times and got picked off by Whitehead both times. And Whitehead had 3 interceptions yesterday. He already got his fucking season
Yeah,
bonus
that
for
was cool.
interceptions in one
That's pretty
game.
cool. Cha-ching. Make your money, son. That's
So
awesome.
Josh Allen, we talked about earlier. I think hopefully he'll figure it out, but I mean, he's been doing this for years. So I mean, I would like to think that he would take time to try to improve upon something like this, especially last season when the Jets had their number. It just seems like the rinse and repeat. And he said it in the beginning of the press conference after the game. He's the same team, same players. Uh, he said, same team, same players, different day, same shit. and
Oh yeah.
he was just depressed, and you put the game on him, which is good to take that accountability. But if you're going to be accountable, then go fix what you're having issues with and move forward from there. The Bills are a good team, so if they can figure that out, I think that they can definitely make a long run at this.
Absolutely. I got one question for you. We can maybe just end the week, the full week of football out on this one. Of the contending Super Bowl teams, and just we can it's not just our idea of who the contenders were, but other people's interpretations of who could have been. So I got a couple names right here. Who should be the most concerned after week one? What team should be concerned the most after week one? Maybe the Chiefs. I'll list a couple out for you, and you can tell me who your decision is. Maybe like the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals, the Vikings. Again, the Giants. They weren't on my list of Super Bowl contenders, but they were on others. The Chargers, the Seahawks, the Eagles. Even though they won, they didn't look as good as I thought they could have. So maybe any one of those teams. Are there any other teams maybe on your mind that are more should be more concerned?
Well,
What are you thinking?
one I'll say there's the Vikings straight
Yeah.
up. They were one of the best teams last year, and they look horrible. Their old line looked bad. Their defense looked horrible. They lost some key players this offseason. And when you got your best receiver, Justin Jefferson, getting fucking 150 plus yards and all of these points, and you still don't win the game, it's like that's not good. I mean, you should, if your best receiver's cooking like that, that should at least help you win the game. But they just don't look like how they did last year. And I mean, we were saying the Bucks were going to be one of the worst teams this
Yeah.
year, and they just lost to them at home in week
Yeah.
one. So just from those names, you and Giants for sure too, but they were playing against a very difficult team. I feel
It'll
like
be
the
a big
Vikings were
bounce
playing a
back.
shitty team. I feel like
Yes.
but Buccaneers have a decent defense, but
Yes.
I don't. They should have won that game based on how hyped up they were. They were the favorites to win, or the second favorites to win the division.
I
So
feel like we'll have some sort of understanding of what the Giants are next week when they play the Cardinals, maybe, I think. But yeah, definitely concern right there for people that thought they were in some sort of contention. The Chiefs, maybe, but
Kelsey wasn't there, so I'll give
Kelsey
them
will
the
come
benefit of the
back.
doubt.
Yeah, Kelsey will come back. Similar with the Bills. Josh Allen's not going to turn the ball over for every four times. The Bengals, I'll say the
They're
Bengals
not in trouble.
they're not in trouble, but it is just concerning against just like you gotta get out of that. One, maybe a mental mentality of that, and two, it's just like you gotta get out of these slow starts. You gotta beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. And when you're spotting a team in your division that's going to be as close as it is, that's tough. So I know it's a lot of time, of course, overreaction time. It's week one, but it's something to consider for sure. I don't want to say you took my answer with the Vikings, but that's probably who I would have went with for sure. Definitely labeling them as frauds. But yeah, it's definitely just something to consider with the Bengals that you spotted them a win. And the Chargers could have done the same thing. They could have got not an easy win against the Dolphins, but just kept it and tip your head to the Dolphins. They went off. I don't know if that's going to happen every single week, but they kept up. And that's all really they need to do. Like the Dolphins, that showed me and a lot of other people too that the Dolphins could make some really big noise, and they don't need to do anything too crazy. That offense is spectacular. If the defense is just okay, then they can win some ball games, sneak into the wild card, even arguably with the way that the Bills looked, win the division. Call me crazy. That the Dolphins team looked that impressive. Again, ifs and buts. If he can stay healthy, that goes for every single team everywhere. But fully healthy season out of Tua, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are the fastest people on the field every single time. That's not fair. So that's the case
Yeah,
every
they're
single
both
time.
on the same team.
Exactly. So I was a little all over the place. I was kind of focused on the Chargers, but Chargers could have got a big win. That's concerning there. But seeing as the Chiefs
Seemed like
also
this
got
happened a
one,
lot with the Chargers last year too. I
yeah,
feel like they were always in shootouts and they always got the small end of the stick at the end of it. I don't know. They
yeah.
seems like they always blow these games and
They have some crazy stat, and it went into the coach the year prior, where of over like 31 scored finishes, they're like 5-25 or something like that. I'm making up a number off the top of my head, but it's something ridiculous where in one score games and one score games going into overtime, they lose a significant amount of these games. It's just the way that it is for the Chargers
yeah, it's
sometimes.
rough. It's rough for them. Their offense is great and it's been great for a
Yeah.
while and they always score a bunch of points, but their defense can never keep up with them. So it's,
Final thoughts from week one, just in general, over the top.
oh,
We
it
didn't
was
get to
great.
anything.
This is a
Couldn't,
great
yeah.
week one.
Great that football's back, fantasy is back. Wish it would have been a better win for the Bears, but it is what it is. Quickly into some news before we wrap up with some wrestling, and I really light on wrestling. Tariq Cohen is expected to sign with the Carolina Panthers tomorrow.
What?
That just popped up according to Adam Schefter's tweet 6 minutes ago. As I'm reading this, former Bears running back Tariq Cohen, who has, I'm sorry, I'm reading the tweet, it's loading in front of me, who was not played in the NFL since suffering an ACL MCL tear and was as well with a tibia plantia fracture in September 2020, plans to sign Wednesday to the Carolina Panthers practice squad. The practice squad. I did not finish the tweet, so there you go. Per source, Adam Schefter, like I said.
Wow.
Yeah, so Kerry Cohen getting back involved. Chris Jones, on the other news, Chris Jones signs a 1-year deal with the Chiefs, and then they might also look into franchise tagging him for next year. So could have maybe had him first week one. That would have been big, but Chris Jones coming in to help the Chiefs come week two. That'll be big. I'll just full on preview it for Friday's show. I'll be giving some more deep dive, maybe some stats from the Bears Packers recap. I know this was all emotion this game. I'll maybe deep dive and see what actually went wrong, Bears side of things, stats side, and then a week 2 preview. I'll be doing a Thursday night recap because of course Friday night that'll be the game prior. Week 2 matchups, we'll be going over the spreads, the totals, and maybe some other props. And then I'll be finishing up with some fantasy starts and sits. No wrestling, all football. Probably going to be that from here on out, unless a pay-per-view pops up. We'll be doing our usual recap and previewing it and then recapping it the week prior. So always going to keep up on Wrestle Dream when that happens. Full gear and probably even Survivor Series when the time comes. It'll be in Chicago, so it'll be worth mentioning. So that'll be cool. That's the full-on preview into Friday. If we're good on week 1 previewing and that, we can wrap it up with some quick wrestling news and notes. You good on that one?
Yeah, let's hit it.
Cool. Didn't write it down, so might as well talk about it off the top of my head. Nia Jax is back. Thoughts on Nia Jax being back? The big Monday night reveal. Nia Jax, I'm not like most girls. And you didn't have anything set. Nia Jax is back. Little J is excited. You can see by him the way that he's standing right there pointing at me. He's ecstatic. Nia Jax back in WWE. Thoughts?
You love her. I think she might hurt some people, but
that's the concern.
She was slapping around Rhea Ripley yesterday for no reason. Like, I was like, that just seems unnecessary. But she's back, and Vince McMahon gets one last move before it merged with UFC today.
Yeah,
so
that was good. One last little pawn move before he gets the Endeavor. That was hilarious. I could not believe it. Everyone's reaction. I'm just sitting there like, what? This is great. I felt like Alan. I'm like, what? This is awesome. This is great. She's great. Exactly. I love it. WWE gets Nia Jax, AEW gets Jay White, WWE gets the Ballers or whatever they're called, the guy from fucking
Street Profits.
No, not the Street Profits. The guy that jumped over the ropes and Michael Cole makes fun of him every week. They get that guy. They get those guys. Exactly. the guy that did the A and E show where they would go for the lost treasures. He was the host of that.
I have no
He was
clue.
on the He was on the Botchamania where he flips over the rope. Top dollar, top dollar. There we go.
Oh, Flop Dollar.
Yeah. So WWE gets top dollar and AEW gets Aussie Open. Just more and more things to love over here.
I'll see.
And no free plugs or anything, but just something I'm going to be watching for any other wrestling fans while we're still in there. New Japan just put up FTR versus Aussie Open on their YouTube channel. Their battle. Jesus, something Englishy was the name of the thing because they're doing a third one coming up. So just check out the New Japan. While after you finish this episode, go head on over to the New Japan YouTube and go watch FTR versus Aussie Open. Which again,
don't exit out yet.
No, not yet. We're almost done. I swear, we're almost done. Finishing up, like I said. Quickly, three quick ones. Hacksaw Jim Duggan didn't know he was actually had a health scare, entered the hospital, but he actually left over the weekend. And he not only did he leave the hospital, what does he do the first thing that he gets out and does? He went to Five Guys and he got a burger immediately. Fucking legend. Hey-o! So just wanted to say shout out to Hacksaw. Glad you're doing well. Hopefully you enjoyed your burger and some fries, my guy. Thoughts on Hacksaw?
Oh,
Absolutely.
wish I had a 2x4.
Hell yeah. Quickly, two more. Dudley signed a Legends contract with the WWE. I mean, good for them. Getting paid. Going to be probably in the video games from here on out. On my end of things, hopefully some action figures, maybe maybe a little 2-pack, an exclusive 2-pack or something stupid. I don't know. Thoughts on them getting the Legends contract, even though Bully Ray still isn't he's still active in Impact.
Still is an Impact, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's great. They were one of the best tag teams of the old era. So I mean, them and the Hardys and Edge and Christian completely changed.
Sorry,
I
hate to cut you off, but that might just go to show that WWE might consider Impact an indie. Like that's kind of crazy.
Probably who watches Impact? It's not even on a real network.
Sorry, Greg.
I'm sorry, yeah, but
he catches up. He's at this point. He told me he's just at the results at this point for reading most of this stuff. It happens. It definitely happens.
I keep up through like Instagram. I'll see them post stuff. I'm like, okay. They
got some good highlights. I give them that. But when I saw Leo Rush as their X Division champion, I went,
thought he retired.
Exactly. I thought he retired for the 7th time already. That was my exact reaction. So just glad to see I wasn't too crazy on that one. But yeah, no, sorry. Dudley's good for them. Good for them, for sure.
Good for those boys.
Dudley get those boys. Goddamn tables. Get those Legends contracts. Sign them on the tables and then break the tables. That's what
they've been in a bunch of iconic moments with. I mean,
over so many companies too. Now, I mean, it's beyond that. And finally, just want to wrap this one up on a nice little note. Mike Tenay, Don West. I know you might not be familiar, but they were the dynamic. They were the Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler of TNA, and they made it very exciting. They were the best broadcast group for TNA Impact. Okay. They're going to be inducted into the Impact Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, Don West just passed earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken, from cancer.
My God.
It's very nice that they were able to do this, a nice gesture and everything. And then of course Mike Tenay, very much deserving in that same way. Not just broadcasting and being the commentator for TNA at the time and early on, but WCW also getting his chops in there, and I'm sure. So nice gesture. Awesome to see that these guys are recognized. So while we make fun of TNA or just Impact in general, but the people that went through it, the people that we still cheer for, somewhat might have had their touch there, and it's still somewhat of a respectable company, lasting longer than ECW, if I'm not mistaken, lasted longer than for whatever Jim Cornette's old promotion was, Smoky Mountain Wrestling. So Again, we make fun of it. It still is a very, very decent little company, and nice that they have a Hall of Fame. Nice that they are able to do this. So,
Oh yeah, they've been around for a while.
oh yeah, very much deserving. So, just wanted to point that out. Light on the wrestling, but that is what it's going to be like that for a little bit. I feel got some pay-per-views coming up in a little bit, I'm sure, but nothing too crazy. If you want more wrestling, of course, I think, like I said, I'll get more information, but going live on YouTube, I think I'll check out what YouTube channel, and if it is even up on there. But Bad Karma Wrestling, that's what we're doing every Mondays. Excuse me, recapping basically everything, hitting the headlines and previewing. I'm going to try and get some fun segments when we got we get the TriCaster and stuff. So maybe we'll be able to put up some images, maybe play some games. We can maybe get the call in. Mike, of course, the offer stands. I offered it to you earlier. I know you got work when we go ahead and go live, but you got some maybe a call in an early lunch, or maybe take a vacation day, whatever it is you got to do. A lot of the offer stands as always. If you want to talk some wrestling, we'll be having interchanging guests over there. That's going to be fun. But if I'm not mistaken, that was the wrestling. That was the football. That was the news. That might be episode 35 of No Substitute for Sports in the books. Check, please. Thank you. Very cool. Thank you as always for tuning in, watching, subscribing, liking, following us on Twitter, following us. I think we still got the Instagram going, but that's fine too. YouTube, like I said, following us everywhere, watching me on the Twitches, on the Friday night show, on the Friday morning show, 1 p.m. show, Friday, 1 p.m., twitch.tv/SportsTownShy. That's what we're doing. We're talking more football there. Thank you, Alan, for taking your notes. Thank you, Troy, and good luck in you guys' matchup in the fantasy right there. Like I said, double trouble, making another mention right there. Anything for everybody, Mike, at home? Thank you as always, Mike, for tuning in, or for helping us out over here.
Appreciate everyone listening, and have a great week, and enjoy the football and the fantasy that's coming up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. More and more football to come. We'll see you next time. Take care. We'll see you.
Go Packers.
No, Bears.